just wanna hold you. I just wanna look into your eyes and tell you that I want you. You know you make me feel so alive. Can't stop thinking about you day and night. Love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down here, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution. Everything I needed. Never thought I'd meet someone like you. You know you are the reason why I feel like I can fly. Thinking about you day and night. I love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down here, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution. I just wanna look into your eyes. You know you make me feel like I'm alive. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the
collision of decisions whirling in my heart. I'm stuck inside your grip. I'm going down, down, down like a waterfall. You're keeping the smiles apart. You got me down, down, down like a waterfall. You know just how to restrain a heart. Of obsession has never been this close. And the matter if I'd rather just lock myself indoors. I'm righteous, this virus, no dog or pill can cure. This pattern won't turn it. You got me by the core. I'm going down, down, down like a waterfall. You're keeping the smiles apart. You got me down, down, down like a waterfall. You know just how to restrain a heart. You know I'm going down. I'm going down, down, down like a going down. Keeping the smiles apart. You know you got me down, down, down like a waterfall. You know just how to restrain a heart. I shut my eyes, trying not to speak, pretend that I'm dreaming. I smell your breath, not listening, but I still hear you screaming. Going under. One step away till you hear what I'm saying. Sounds like thunder. And the clouds are closing in. You see, I know this, but the last days in real life I've noticed. Losing focus, breaking up from our life as we know it. If someone had told me that I will take off and find something greener, greener than making me shiver. He's not like you, don't want him to. He's more like the river, growing stronger. When we're alone, there's no you in the picture. Paint by number isn't how I wanted to. You see, I know this, but the last days in real life I've noticed. Losing focus, breaking up from our life as we know it. If someone had told me that I will take off and find something greener, greener than gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and kids of all ages, welcome straight back into it. We're opening the doors to you again for GLL Season number 1, Week number 2. Myself, Papa Boogie, alongside of Lothar. I'm very pleased to welcome you indeed. We got some spicy stuff coming in tonight, right?
Yeah, and we have 8 new teams actually,
That's
because of the
spicy.
alpha and beta system, right? So that's pretty cool. Bravo, sorry.
Yeah, we call it Bravo amongst ourselves, us two, but they call it Beta.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
okay.
guys, who are in Beta. We respect you as Bravo, don't worry about it. But we're still the Alphas. There you go. So what's happening with the Alpha Bravo system is that teams get a chance to actually come into the first and second division. We're going to be talking about that in a few moments.
We're gonna explain that thoroughly. Oh my god, that's a hard word.
Thoroughly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. As is the situation for the teams playing tonight, because we got some new faces in here. So one of the things that we should discuss first is how teams actually organize themselves, because when you have such a treacherous territory as it is with GLL, when teams keep going back and forth, the looting grounds will never stay the same.
And that's awesome.
And that is awesome indeed. That
Yeah.
that gives you guys also a very good entertainment value, because you should be able to see some early fights, or rather, even if not early fights, you'll see some strategies and some tactics from teams that find new ways to escape their enemies.
Well, it just forces improvisation, right, on the
Yep.
teams. For people who don't know competitive PUBG well, usually teams have like their favorite spot when it comes to loot, right? But when you have teams that you don't know really well, then you have no clue if someone will be dropping to the same location as you or not. If that's the case, then you need to have a backup plan. Do you jump somewhere else? Or even if if the plane doesn't really land near your location at
Yeah,
all, what do you do then, right? So I was a big actually opponent of having a fixed loot place for a team, because I think improvisation in Battle Royale is super important.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand the premise, especially when teams need to practice synergy. Right.
Exactly. So that's one of the main reasons why they would stick together. But anyway, before we get into all the PUBG kind of stuff, how was your week? How have you been doing? I want to start things off a bit nicer this time around. It's like, because the thing is, we're kind of thirsty. I'm thirsty for PUBG because I was in repairs last week, so I couldn't cast at all. So I was dreading the thought. But how was your week?
You know, all good, all good. I mean, when it comes to playing the game, I'm kind of excited for the new map, but at the same time, I would love to see improvements on the first map, on the
Angel,
right? Yeah.
There were some talks some while ago about a remake of Angel, or a remaster, so to speak. I think we're a bit early to discuss that one at this
Well,
stage
you know,
in time.
it brings a lot of questions, right? What if we have a third map? Do we bring it into tournaments as well?
Yes, we do.
Who knows, right?
Well, unless some people have to say anything about that on Twitter.
Well,
no,
that was a
it-
heated discussion
oh,
today
my Lord, do not
on that,
remind me.
right? Yeah.
Today even.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh lordy, I missed that one up. I gotta get into the gossip kind of juicy bits. If you guys know what Luthar's talking about, perhaps you can let us know in the chat, or let us know who your favorite team is, because we freaking love spam right here in GLL. So without further ado, we're gonna be looking at the way the alpha settings work with the Bravo lobby as well. So there you go. You have 2 lobbies, both playing at the same time. You got 8 teams for the top Bravo division coming into Alpha, and then the last 8 teams from Alpha will be going into Bravo. So this week around, we had some teams that actually came back and forth, and I think Lothar has all the information in the world. So Lothar, who the heck is going where, man? Because I'm so confused. I don't even know where my pants are. Do I even have
from
pants?
last week,
I don't have pants.
You don't have pants? No one sees that.
That's-
No worries. Last week from Bravo, we had 8 teams that did advance to the Alpha section, and that is Havu, House of Nobles, Limitless, Finstack, ForZe, Great People Only,
Great people.
Copenhagen Flames, and No Loot Gaming. So those are the 8 teams that advanced, and the difference between Alpha and Bravo divisions is that Alpha earns, let's say, 100% of the points, while Bravo earns 50% of the points.
Exactly, that's the big kind of difference between Alpha and Bravo. Because you're kind of wondering, okay, so what's the point? Do you just kind of move teams around just for the sake of diversity, just for the sake of a better kind of show for the viewers? Well, no. This is exactly what it is, Lothar. So basically, if you're in Alpha and you're getting 200 points per chicken dinner, if you would have the same kind of chicken dinner in Bravo, you get half of that. So you get the same amount for kills, halved as well. So it's there you go.
That's the
That's for Alpha. There you go.
Alpha pointage. 8-point distribution in each game. As you can see, we also changed the way you get points for kills. When you did watch the preseason of GLL, it was quite different. It was scaling up each game. Above 10 kills, you had really nice scaling.
Oh, yeah.
In this case, whatever kill you get, whenever, which game, doesn't matter, it's still 8 points.
Absolutely. So this time around, it's going to be gimped as well for the second lobby. You're going to be getting 4 points per kill, and there's no adjustment as well. Both of the lobbies, as Lothar said, won't have any kind of extra bonus, I guess, if you go on a killing spree. And that is to the problem is that the teams were saying that there were teams that had the same amount of kills, but because some of them actually throttled in one match and got those most amounts of kills in one match rather than the others, and that was the bigger issue, I suppose, in that regard. So they were like, okay, let's just kind of have a standardized killing, reward system for kills, and that should see as good. So there you go.
Yeah. We had a situation when a team with less kills had actually more points than a team with more kills.
Yeah.
That was the reason why they had the preseason, right? To
Rip
test
GG.
out stuff. But
Yeah.
I
I mean, there's a freaking that's what I love about GLL, man. That they actually came out and said, okay, we're not going to call it first season because we want to iron out all the kinks. We want to make it as smooth as possible. We're going to call it the preseason, even if it's going to be a professionally made production, even if we're going to be flying casters from all over the world, even if, you know what I mean, like we're going to be up to standard with our production team as well. Very, very cool studio and whatnot. The observers maybe, but yeah. I'm just memeing
we love
around.
you, answer.
We love you, Answer. But they called it a preseason nonetheless because they were like, okay, so let's first figure out how PUBG works right now in the esports scene. Let's figure out if our league is or isn't esports ready, and then we're going to be coming into the games nice and powerful and strong. So that's what they did. So that's why this is the first season, and that's why what you saw before from the 30th of October all the way to December was called the pre-season.
And this time we actually have $50,000 prize pool.
There's also that. So you kind of have to iron out all the kind of problems and, settle a good baseline for what's to be a tournament that has a lot of money involved, man, because this is the top. There's not a tournament. There's only one tournament that offers this, but there's no higher price for a tournament in PUBG at this moment in time. So kudos to GLL for freaking bringing you all these goodies around here. And also just a bit of a juicy info. Tonight FaZe Yempty is not playing. He cannot play.
So they have a sub.
So they're playing with a sub at the minute. Don't know who it is. We're going to be finding out when we go into the game. But regardless, we thought we should let you know because right now FaZe are flying in, and I think Yempty is the only one that was caught between two flights delayed, layover, delayed, that kind of sort of stuff. So it sort of happens, and that's the reason as well why we're not doing the NA production, because NA teams are being flown over to IM, so we want to give them some time. There's no point to get them to lose points. You know what I mean?
There's no point to lose points.
There you go. I'm pointing my finger at you, and I'm also pointing my finger at you because on the 6th of March, we're going to be showing you the NA production. So if you're wondering what's going to happen with these NA teams, they're not going to get any points at all. No. We're going to do them on a Tuesday on the 6th of March.
I did wonder what will happen with them. Thank you very much.
There you go. I keep pointing tonight. I don't know what it is. It's the blazer, because I never wore a blazer in GLL before. But that's what happens. You're going to be watching that production on the 6th. And on the 7th, we're going to have, again, a full show, EU and NA.
Well, today we have
3
5 matches from EU. 2 on Miramar, 3 on Erangel. No, wait, isn't it the other way around this
Yes,
time?
it is.
It is, right?
So there you go. We're going to be starting off with 3 matches of Miramar, but we're not going to be doing it now. No, indeed. Now we're going to throw you guys to some spicy GLL music, as we are all used to the DJ back there, because, lobby stuff. Because of reasons, and why you need to know so much. See you guys in a few.
Can you get me home? Or will you lead me to another place before I overload? Back into the mess of all our broken ways. Give me a signal.
there like this, then it still looks like a bit like that guy from the Sixth Element. You know what I mean? So then I'm like,
Sixth-
I'm just gonna like freaking
Oh,
do that. And
you
then
mean
it's like,
Gary Oldman?
you know what I mean?
Gary Oldman?
Hey,
Hey, we're gonna play Erangel first.
so cringe, man. Give me some ha-has in the chat. You know us. You love us. You're well aware with the shenanigans that Papa Boogie and Lothar have to bring to you. But yeah, we're basically, what's happening here is we try some lobbies on Miramar. They didn't work necessarily that well. So we're going to be starting off, scratch the initial plan to play 3 Miramar, 2 Angels. We're going to be doing the thing that we normally do, well, that we did last week, which is play 3 Angels, 2 Miramars. That should make Bogdan happy in the chat there. So there you go. Bogdan, there you go. Similar name as mine. As you can see, my name and my Twitter handle down here. Thank you so much for the Twitter follows. I'm not a sellout. Oh my God, thank you, production. That was such a rep, GG. They were like, nope, we're going straight into the game. Screw
look
you,
at that.
Boogie.
They're jumping from the plane. Well, this is the first game of
All
GLL
right.
Season 2.
Let's freaking
Week
go.
2. Season 1. What am I talking about? Week 2.
We're getting ahead of time, but there you go. Let's talk about the first game. Indeed, it has started, and the plane is coming down strong, and it is a plane that will avoid most of the western area. So keep that in mind. Remember this plane trajectory as we see the first circle in just a few moments, because that's going to pretty much let us know how things are going to be working out for teams that normally go onto the west side, which you see Kingwin already doing there. Method taking their home, not a problem there. Havu might have a bit of a harder time. But then again, Havu this time around looks like they're going to be sticking around farm area, perhaps looking for some vehicles, then going to Primorsk. Although lately they have been trying some adjustments, so I don't know if this time around they're going to be trying their adjustments here as well. Maybe they're training for something bigger. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Huh? Can you tell me?
Not really.
I sound like a freaking Scooby dog right there, didn't I?
Well,
Very haha.
it's a very interesting plane drop since it just kinda left the west side completely unpopulated, right? And
Yeah.
if anyone wants to go to Georgopol, they need to go for vehicles first. That means they will lose time. So if the circle ends up on the east side, they will have a lot of distance to travel.
True.
At the same time, we do see a little bit of contestation in the beginning. On the military, we have actually 2 teams in both locations, Sosnovka and in Novo, which is super interesting. We didn't have that last week, right?
Yeah.
So
That's actually pretty cool. It might yield for some initial combat, actually. Starting to think of it.
people will be upset.
People will not be happy. But you know what people will be happy for?
What for? Look at that circle. You'll be happy for.
Seeing the weather, man. There you go. So let's have a look at this, guys.
Weatherman, tell us if there will be a lot of water incoming.
I'm not picking up that narrative again.
Okay.
I've learned to hold my tongue in the meantime. So here's what's up. So the plane went like this, yeah, and the first circle, as you can see on this side, which means that all these teams that actually have to traverse and go towards the west side are going to be happy. Well, there's not going to be a lot of teams, of course. There's going to be Kingwin going to their favorite spot right here. So in terms of where the circle is at the moment, pretty much all the teams are going to be happy. Even if the plane path didn't cross the circle, it doesn't necessarily matter. In a competitive scenario, for those of you that maybe perhaps just came in here to for the first time, what happens is teams kind of have a designated spot. So they're going to be assigned, or not assigned, but they're going to fight for a place during scrims, during private scrims, and when they win that place, they're going to be looting there in competitive as well. So you can see here, teams will be making their way to a fair amount of spread onto the map there. I'm looking here at Limitless, actually. They're going to be going to the Quarry. This is a team that I actually want to look at Limitless because we didn't have the chance to look at them last week. They were in the Bravo lobby, but they performed very well, so now they've been upgraded to Alpha. But yeah, I want to have a look at this team right over yonder, which is Limitless indeed. So we'll see how those guys fare later on. In the meantime, though, we did see Havu as well not do their standard strat. So considering that the plane went here, what they could have done is drop 4 cars around this area and then continue on traversing towards this spot, which is their favorite looting ground, which is Primorsk. But this time around, they have chosen to loot around the farm area, which is a good thing to have. Some teams do this, some teams don't. For example, a team like Method, they're going to be sticking around the Pochinki area all the freaking time. It doesn't really matter where the circle goes or where the plane goes. They're going to try and make their way into that zone. But for Method, we have to mention, Pochinki is quite a central area. If you look at the entirety of the map where Pochinki is, it's a very, very decent spot. So you don't need to find any other places unless you get challenged.
Well, now the question is, what is going to happen during the first rotation, right? Because the plane kind of indicated all the teams to go to the west side, and now they have to go to the east side and to the north of the map. But the problem is you can't really travel south of Gogopol because that's a really dangerous terrain.
Absolutely. And here's another thing that's interesting. Oh, we're going to be going to the fight. We'll come back at you with the weather stuff in just a moment. I was about to tell you about GRUBIE versus Halvo because they both like to look pretty more. But let's have a look at this one here. What's going down? Looks like 60 is fighting himself some frags and Meter as well. Viglur, we also saw him on the spotlight here. So the Lions fighting off Tentacle themselves.
Yep,
See how
Lions
this
already
pass.
found a kill. And they lost a member, if I'm not mistaken here. It's teeth for teeth, eye for an eye.
Yes, indeed. So it's going to be a 3v3 situation here. And looks like this fight could potentially stop, but it's not going to. Miller spots VZ, takes him down. Knocked out with M4. Useless now. He's going to hide in between that. Very organic crew.
interior.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was
Nice
actually going to say.
interior.
That. It's
Really,
actually very
nice.
organic kind of. Nice. I want that in my house, actually. Meter comes in here. He's going to be getting the res.
Guy
No
in the
problem at all.
shotgun.
Yeah, there you go. He's going to be getting the res without any kind of care in the world here. Since he's going to have their backs as well. There's no nade that seems to be coming in from Miller that tells us that there's no nades available. But Viglur has an interesting idea. Will he know to nade the right place? Not necessarily. Going to be needing the opposite side, but that opens up the possibility for him to actually spot players coming in here. He's got a second nade to throw. Meter here's that one and stays in the toilet. Nobody's going to be connecting onto those nades there, and Viglur has run out of them. So now he's going to be holding onto a spot there. We know that Alliance are going to be forced to come out at some point in time. Sigsy's peeking up. He might spot Miller on the rooftop there. So Miller has to play this one safely. Let's see where the third man is. Oh, there's just two guys left for Tentagold. Oof, that's a bit unfortunate thing. Can Miller and Viglur do something about this?
6 minutes into the game, already half of the squad. Unlucky. Well, that's what you get.
This is the attempt to exit.
Yep.
Right here from Tentagold. Will they be able to do just that? Viglur is going to be holding on to his angle. But
Good
easy.
prediction. Good prediction.
Very
but,
nice.
But a really nice cross replacement from his opponent, and well, that ended up with a bad outcome for Viglur.
Indeed it did. And Miller's now going to have to play as a solo. He's going to have to rethink the strats. When you play as a solo, you're going to pretty much sneak your way into the circle and just kind of prone there and hope that you don't get shot.
I think if I would have been that guy now, I would just take a boat and go into the water already north
Oh,
off
yeah.
the side of the circle and just sit there, you know, on the edge and just go into, well, I guess another circle with water next time. But look at that.
Shamanenok Flames. Ooh.
Some drive-bys.
Yes, indeed. Slim noise on Jones.
The new boys in the Alpha Lobby.
Quite okay.
Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah, there you go. Came it in from beta last week.
Bravo.
Bravo. Yes, sorry. They're going to be holding a spot that Kingwin held last week, actually. Oh, no, actually, they're going a bit more western than that. Kingwin are going to the same old place that they want to go to, but they're really putting themselves in a bit of a crossfire here. Let's watch
Under
Kingwin right now on the north side there.
Heavy fire right now. That suppressive fire from
No,
from the
that's not
compound was a lot of shots. I wonder how much ammo they have. So look at that.
Oh!
Look at the HP of him.
Oh, he's still alive. The car was almost blown up to smithereens. He was almost blown up to smithereens, but somehow he makes it out alive, and he will be holding the spot. This is the spot that got them the chicken dinner last game as well, last week as well.
They really
Very
love that spot
powerful
because they already assume people will be coming into the circle, into the water, which is not a bad assumption, since that's unfortunately a strategy that you have to do. In a
Oh,
competitive
look at that
setting. But
UAZ. It's going to blow up. No way that thing stays alive. Oh.
he was so close to actually to get it, you know.
He was. He stopped it. He wanted to go out. Miracle. It took a miracle to see him out of the car. And that miracle, pretty much people peppering him down with shots. Holy smokes. Good way to start the match right here with the spicy, spicy circles, forcing teams to actually traverse a very long path, which means that they're going to get absolutely bodied.
Something that we did talk about in the preseason is because of, you know, no one's gonna blame us for saying that in the preseason the game wasn't really performing that well when it comes to FPS for the players, right?
How dare you? But here's
So-
the thing, man. Here's the thing. Instead of complaining on Twitter, you know what they did? They adapted.
No, that's not the point what I want to say.
No,
Now
but-
we have
okay,
more
we'll get to that.
FPS,
Yeah?
and because of that, driving vehicles is actually way tougher
Yeah.
because
exactly.
it's easier to shoot at you. You know
But
what I mean?
that was the adaptation to lower FPS. That was their resolution to lower FPS. That was such a cool little gimmick that they found. They're like, okay, so we kind of have this unwritten pact. If you guys just joined in maybe in the last few months or maybe even today for the first time in comp PUBG, what's happening is when everybody would be traversing with vehicles, the FPS on the server would instantly go down, like super badly. So that means that the people in the compounds weren't able to shoot as well. So they kind of had this unwritten rule. Whenever there's a new circle coming in here, everybody get in their vehicles. So because of that, people in the compounds were a bit Monka-esque. But this time around, there's not that dip in FPS. So teams are going to have to find new ways to traverse. Made it much difficult, but then again, this is the way the game should have been, the way it is now. So you're just going to have to adapt and overcome, I suppose, my friends.
Yep.
Because that's the only way to do it. Or you can take on Twitter.
Another heavy fire. Meter from Alliance was trying to get out, and he did, I think, with minimal casualties.
Yep.
Just some bullet holes in his truck.
In his
That's about it.
dignity. Limitless, in the meantime, lost 2 members there with the car explosion. That's a bit of an unfortunate moment for them. I think they
Look
might
at
have been
Kingwin,
a
already
rotation.
in the position.
Yeah, yeah. Kingwin have themselves a very decent spot there, but they're playing a bit of a split, which is not the best thing considering that Copenhagen Flames are kind of close to them. However, there's one guy missing from Team Kingwin.
Well, he was already dead
Oh, well then. I was
with the
sure.
driveway, right?
What?
Miracle.
Oh, it was Miracle, poor guy. Trying to make his way there, getting himself
Yep.
locked to smithereens.
We already also see Matted very early on with the rotation from Pochinki,
Let's
which
have a
is
look at
nice to
FaZe.
see.
Let's have a look at FaZe because I want to talk about this. Let's show the weatherman again, if possible. Thank you guys. So let's open up the map. Wait for the cameras to pan in. Hey, how's it going, dudes? So here's the thing. FaZe, we were talking about this earlier on. So teams that actually have to loot around this area, around this kind of spot, know how to rotate early because very rarely the circle is going to be encompassing this side of the map. So you can already see FaZe having looted their big Milta, small Milta. They've grouped up together, and now they're taking all the way the westernmost approach, well, the northernmost approach, rather, into the circle. So these guys, I want you guys to look at them because they're really, really good at rotations. They're one of the most powerful teams. And in comp PUBG, rotations are at least as good as your aim. It's a very, very important element of the game here. If you know how to rotate, then you're going to have a
I
very
think it's even
decent
more
chance.
important. At least for
Yeah,
the
you can say
IGL,
that.
right?
Absolutely.
The IGL needs to have the best potential ideas for rotations, otherwise the entire team just ends up dead, so they are dependent on them.
True, that indeed. So there you go. FaZe are going to be making their way towards Savernity. They know that place hasn't been loaded. They've done their homework. So this is partly why they're so good at rotates, because they look at all these teams and they say, okay, so this team likes to go here, that team likes to go there. Nobody's going to Savernity, so that means that we can probably safe cross it. Or what they considered is that, okay, so looting period is over, so now we can make our way through Savernity without any kind of care in the world. Very smart rotation, guys. And I want to see how they rotate after this position, because right now they seem to be settled in the Savernity area, but I want to see later on what's going to be happening. We see some action. We're going to go back into it. But thank you guys for your patience and time with Weatherman Boogie. We'll have Weatherman Lothar as well later on.
Later on. I'll switch
later
around.
You're like, there's no rush. Screw it. I thought you liked playing with that thing. You're really good at it as well.
I love it. I honestly think that's very needed in every single Battle Royale production.
It is so good. I freaking love GLL for it, dude. So, Blackmall Entertainment as well, right? They have the team tracker on the left side, which is something that you don't see anywhere else on the world. So there you go. Your favorite team is going to be displayed on the left side there. You're going to see how many people are alive from that squad. You're going to see it's in the goals. 1 member, Limitless, 2 guys, and then loads of 3s, and then full squads as well. Nobody dead just yet when in this 18-squad match. They've got the team tracker. They've got the weatherman stuff, which is so good for us as casters to talk about the rotations as well, because we don't have control of the mouse, right? So this is some, man, GLL is paving up. I know you're going to be calling me, like a suck up or whatever, but they are paving up the freaking path for PUBG esports, man, and you got to love them for that. You got to show them appreciation for that. Show them appreciation on Twitter, please, by following them on, what is it, Global Loot League, I think?
Yeah, it
There
is.
you go. There you go. Just search for GLL, you're going to be fine. Limitless in the meantime there. 2 guys staying alive. Going to be in a bit of an engagement with Team GRUBIE. Let's see how this one works out. Papa eats up a heck of a ton of damage there. Gonna have to go for the first aid kit. And I don't know if GRUBIE want to. What they do want to attack this. They're actually going to be coming in here. Let's have a look at Team 18. And POKAMOLODOY is going to be leading the path there. Shade is going to be close by. They've got a compound to work with here behind so that they can approach Limitless quite safely. So, and now that they're made their way so close, they're going to have to get into this one and finish it off. There's no way out.
I'm holding my breath because I saw that AK with no red dot, no hollow, just a iron sight, and that is a pain in the ass to manage.
Oh!
It burst. I think that was a burst. And I'm actually, no,
It was.
wasn't
It was.
burst.
Yeah, it definitely was a burst. POKAMOLODOY comes in with the first knockout there. It's going to be Papa that trades some frags. Papa's doing God's work right now. Snoopy nays himself. And that leaves... Well, that leaves GRUBIE in a very dire spot. They only have 2 people left alive. They're going to be going for the rest downstairs. Their Papa, in the meantime, is going to be using up some bandages there. He does not have a first aid kit. Papa's playing this one to perfection here. Also helped out by the situation earlier on, but it doesn't really matter. He tried to just get a house, but he got absolutely bodied by Pajama. Not a Pajama, dude. We got to say this about Pajama. He is the freaking rock star of GRUBIE. After what, in the qualifiers, when he threw a nade and bodied a whole freaking squad. 3 nades, sorry. But still, he bodied a whole freaking squad with 3 nades. Yerpsy. All right, so let's see Ansvar.
So, where's... Oh, here it is.
There she is. Okay, so that wasn't...
It's a 3-man bike.
There you go. That wasn't a hard task for, what do you call it? For our Sherlock Holmes Ansvar tonight.
Yeah, it was
Easy
just
one.
zoom out the camera.
Yeah, done.
See where's the bike standing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's there. Problem solved. I mean, not a problem, but issue solved.
Man,
At least the foundation of it.
don't make it sound simple. Ansvar's putting in a lot of work here.
Yeah.
Give him some praise. Give him
All right.
give him some candy.
Crimson.
Well, you tried to give him candy at the break, but he refused to in a very, very dire manner. No, I'm just kidding.
What's up?
What?
What's up?
How you doing?
Oh, good. How you doing?
How you doing? You see, because chat not gonna know what we're talking about, dude. Because that's like an old meme, bro.
I think everyone did watch Friends at some point of their life, you know?
Everyone that's like
And it's on Netflix right
over
now.
25.
So,
Oh yeah, it is.
I think it's gonna come back.
Oh, people getting triggered about that. You know what? We're not going to get into politics. But yeah, watch Friends if you didn't. It is on Netflix now. It's a great friggin' show. It's a bit cheesy like Pop Boogie. Perhaps that's where I draw my cheese from. But it's a real great show. It's a lot of fun. Pretty much like Pop Boogie as well. So there you go. Now, circle indeed showing up. Second circle moving into third pretty soon. Let's see the third one. Where is it going to be? This is a very important circle as well. Fights happening at the most powerful compound into the game as we speak right now. Sigsy sticking Timmy. And they're taking shots at another player as well. Sieke is going to be knocked out himself. That's an unfortunate thing. So there you go. 2 members lost as well from that team. Let's have a look at the map again. Oh, no. Actually, Alliance are going to be in a fight. We'll have a look at that one with GRUBIE. Man, GRUBIE aren't freaking satiated by the way they destroy Limitless. Now they're going against someone else. And they're playing as 3s. And they're playing as aggressive as they are, man.
Well, they
You
have 3
gotta
kills
love Team
already,
GRUBIE.
right?
I freaking love these guys, man. Every single time they put on the best of show. Like, for a caster and for you as a viewer, Team GRUBIE is like the bomb. Because it gives you good entertainment, you know what I mean? Their playstyle is just so bombastic. It's great.
I think it kind of also sets up a, let's say, approach for other teams to battle them, right? If they're going to see the team like somewhere nearby them, it's like, oh god, we have to be super defensive now.
Oh, smoke and...
That UAZ is halfway destroyed.
Yeah, Mixie's going to find his way to safety, though. And we were talking earlier about the rotations of this particular team. Whoa, they're coming into ForZe. Nice. Little juke there. Mixie spotted ForZe last second there. They're going to be taking shots, but it's not going to matter too much. There you go. One close to another. They're going to be coming close to the drop as well. Vanity's going to be firing off some shots as well to try and set them away. Mixie eating up a lot of damage, but his UAZ is eating them more. And I don't feel that their enemies at the crate drop are going to be alive for too long here.
Look at that setup, by the way. Level 3 helmet, level 3 vest. He had more armor than a UAZ.
Yeah, dude. He's just casually walking into that hut. He wasn't even like trying to run into it. But yeah, now they're going to be in a very difficult spot. They do have a side flank going on here. I'm not too sure who it is, but Vanity's going to be eating up a heck ton of damage. First knockout comes in from Fuzzface. Some replies will come in.
Good, no, that was like a shoulder just peeking out.
Yes, it was. Let's see who is that side flank, because I'm not too sure who is it. Oh, those nades! Hey, there goes Botsman as well, and that's a finishing nade as well for Vanity. Team number 4 it is.
House of Nobles.
House of Nobles, H-O-N.
Those are the new guys from Bravo. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So new guys from Bravo coming in here. I don't know who else. This is just one guy left from their team. It's just going to be Flicks. So that's unfortunate. Oh, look at Kingwin Larson. See this split here. He's coming in late here. Oh, is he going to be in trouble? Oh, is he going to be? He's in the water.
Did they spot him? I think so.
He's playing water.
Yeah, they know that he is there.
Yeah. By the way they're looking, they definitely know what's up. But because they're going to be challenged themselves by someone into the circle, it's not going to be a fight they're going to be able to take too long. So Kingwood are doing the smart thing right now. They're setting one guy into the water and one guy to snake around because there's just 2 left alive. So with that in mind, they're hoping to get a good placement. They're not playing for kills. They're not playing for anything else. But that's about it.
In the meantime, we see Crimson That's campaign compound. Good positioning right now. They will still wait for the next rotation. We have 90 minutes into the game. Usually, each game takes around 31 to 33 minutes. So, it's a little bit up past the halfway. And that's the end of Kingwin Larson. He actually drowned. So that's unlucky.
Did he disconnect?
I'm not sure. I think he was just trying not to peek. And trying to like peek the last
Because
minute or
look.
something.
There's two guys actually from Kingwin. So I think he disconnected.
I think he moved. Oh, maybe he was just swimming, you know, while disconnected. Who knows?
You know what? He's going to be able to tell us. Oh, that nade! Coming in from VAR to actually knock himself out there. He missed the shot onto it. And now his teammate is going to be trying to smoke off the area there. So that air game pitted. Don't necessarily see too much there. But as they go to the open, they're going to be saved. Kingwood gets saved by squad number 16. There's the chance for VAR to get himself rezzed up back. A little mistake there that cost him a knockout. But at least they're not dead. They really had saviors just south of them there. And you can see Sampola is going to be the one leading that saving squad, I suppose. Great people only. Doing great things only. For Kingwood, at least.
Good meme. Good meme.
I mean, you know. Poor Asar says, I'm equally part proud and disappointed that you didn't draw a penis on the weatherman.
That's going to be a joke every single time, right?
Oh, man, I think that. You're so annoyed. Like, is that going to be a thing now?
No, it's going to be. Look at that. Look at Havu and Solenso leading out pretty fast. One more knock and he's going to be dead instantly.
What the thing is, because they're outside, he wouldn't have been able to get rezzed either. So I don't really mind, even if you would have attempted. So here's what happened if you are just starting to play the game, or if you've been playing for a while but don't know this mechanic. If you get knocked out on the outside of the blue, even if your teammate rezzes you, you're still going to take the tank damage as you get rezzed. So you still get your stuff lowered, right? Your HP bar lowered. Now looks like Kingwin, a bit of a doozy here. Oh, Koiran Posca again with the double nader. Indeed, Posca it is. I don't know what Koiran means, but I know what Posca means, and it's a Posca day for Kingwin.
Damn, that was a really rough situation for Kingo. There was no way out. Basically, when we're in a shack like that and you have no doors, there's no way of just going out. Even if you go out when you hear a nade, you're gonna be right in the crosshairs of your opponent. So, tough luck.
Method shooting at squad number 5, shooting at FaZe, shooting at someone else. This is some sort of a love freaking...
That's the sub, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see how it pans out. Not necessarily finding out too great for FaZe. They're going to have to get a res onto their fallen teammate there. But they were playing a 3+1 split with Hack City on the north side there. Hack City's going to be grouping up with his teammates, I feel like, now. And they're still in a bit of a doozy. They're going to be taking Horcan down. So that's a good start for them there. Method, in the meantime, are going to be grouping up and hitting the south side of their compound, as there is a guy knocked there. And that kill should be going their way as well. FaZe now. Very, very close to Method. Very, very close to ForZe, who will have to go through FaZe unless they go a bit northern.
Well, the south side of the circle is actually... west side of the circle is pretty open. But the problem is, there's a reason for it. Because now we have open fields on that west side. There's literally almost nowhere to hide unless you're proning and you have a small ditch next to the road. So it's kind of problematic, especially when we will see the next rotation of the circle, and that will dictate what will happen to the teams. But this is the moment when we still have a lot of people alive, and in the next 2 minutes, a lot will change.
Indeed it will. Chronix now, with the frag stolen on him by POKAMOLODOY. In the initial one, I think it was from Method. Now, FaZe have lost members as well. There's one guy up and one guy... Oh, never mind. And he comes in with the nade and destroys them absolutely. Crimson now. Going to be in a fight. And this fight seems to be working out just fine for Pybus, who finds the first frag there. One guy left. Is going to be there. Odir. Is he going to be able to find the clutch against the full-man squad? Exalt Gaming in a dark spot now. He's going to try to make a run for it there. Is it going to happen? No. NBS brings him to nothing, and that's a good fight for Crimson that they're going to win for sure. But now, GRUBIE have heard them. And GRUBIE, you know what they do. They go aggro.
They go all in every single time. Look at ZigZz just going there.
Where did he come from? And how is he still alive? Well, not
is
for
he?
long. No, he's not. At least he didn't give the frag. At least he didn't give the flag. So I think that's going to be the end of Alliance. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he was the last living member of Alliance since the beginning of the game, basically.
Yeah, pretty much after that fight with Tindergold and Novo Repnoy, left Alliance lacking. Now, Let's see this push from ForZe onto their enemies Kuiran, Paskaa, Helio. And it looks to the only Finnish boys that try to smoke themselves out. Is it going to be working, or will they see an enemy close by and have to deal with immediately?
I'm sure those guys are waiting for a map with snow.
They would love that. I would love that. Freaking everyone would love that. And that's what's coming, right? Because the nighttime is going to be a game mod. This is okay. So this is Papa's prediction, guys. That will be coming out in a second. Let's see at the fight in the meantime here. DieZzz comes in with a good knockout here. Shamanenok is going to be returning fire though. However, Sample and Kuiran Paskaa. Kuiran Paskaa now to 1/3 of his HP. Is he going to be alive for too long here? Ooh, some shots do connect from DieZzz. He needs to find some cover though, real fast.
No
And he
nades
does
on
just
him.
that. Oh, he doesn't go for the
good
cover.
shot.
Wow. Okay, so there goes Sample down now. The last one staying alive, Kuiran Paskaa, is going to have 4 seconds to heal up and move in as well. No chance to get the res. He's just going to have to make an exit for it. Flex is going to be waiting for him on the other side. Kuiran Paskaa in a very dire spot, in a very dire position. DieZzz will be going for the res.
No,
He's
no,
going to
he's
get a chance.
just picking up the items from him.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So, wow, that's an unfortunate thing.
Usually what people can do also is that the knocked player will just go somewhere in this circle, right? And drop the items in the meantime.
Has Flex been blocked? Ansvar, show us the entrance to the tunnel. The entrance to the tunnel is...
I think he's just camping there.
Is he blocked?
Yeah.
No, he's not blocked. Okay, so he's
He was
taking
just
a little
camping
bit of
there.
lead.
I'm assuming he has a lot of kits.
Yeah, he heard the shots earlier. This is what happened. He heard the shots. He knew there was enemies trying to fight it off. And now that it's quiet, he's like, okay, this is my time to show myself to the world.
He has only 2 kits.
There
There's
you
no way he
go.
can survive this circle.
Absolutely not. If he does it, he's some sort of a magician. No, he won't. In
No,
the
there's
meantime,
no
though,
way.
Flames have found themselves a frag and another one there as well. So, and oh, look at this one actually. GRUBIE taking shots at Method, knocking Leighton down. GRUBIE, real aggressive, real nice right now. Let's see if they can find more than one. Oh, there's an attempt to run from 80. Is he going to be able to make it? Full HP? Well, not so full right now because he's in the blue. Snoopy's going to be holding on to the same spot there with an 8x M4. Taking the shots, not connecting many. This is not an often thing that GRUBIE do. Not connect their shots. But this time around, it looks like 80 gets a second chance at life. However, with Andy and Leighton being knocked out and taken down, it's just going to be 80 playing by his lonesome. And as he makes his way closer, he's going to run into other solos, DieZzz being the first one in. 80 heading straight into DieZzz right now.
And we have also seen
Does he not
Flix
see him?
from House of Nobles die in the zone. Well,
Boop-a-dee boop. One shot.
DieZzz couldn't really find a good angle to have cover in this situation.
Yeah. And 80's going to be coming out on top on that duel there. He's got the rock to work with here. Kuiran Paskaa, unseen in the meantime, will be finding himself a tree to work with as well.
But look at the team tracker. We have 3 teams with
Wow.
full members and 3 teams with just 1 member. This is a really unusual split of power
Yeah,
on
that's
the
true.
map.
Vegas Squadron 1 as well. Let's have a look at the map real quick. Andy Noel. Oh, there you go. Okay, so Andy Noel just alone by himself for Nova Squad for Vegas Squadron. Method, of course, only having 80 and great people only Kuiran Paskaa.
So if I'm not
One
mistaken, that small building in the middle of the white circle right now is not a building. It's just a tower.
The antenna.
It's not like a big antenna, I think.
No.
It's just like the
base.
power station thingy.
Is the power station thing, yes. Let's have a look at the power station thing. Let's have a look at Crimson first. Oh, we're going to have a look at Flames in the meantime. Thank you, spectator mode. Not answer, by the way. So Copenhagen Flames, let's talk a little bit about rotations because I want to pick your brain here, Lothar. What can Flames do to enter this circle? Because they don't necessarily have any kind of cover to get in there.
I think they have to split. Basically either 2+2 or 3+1. Get one guy that can kind of try to get a different
Multiply
angle
their
and scout
chances.
out. Also at the same time, the power of split, how other teams are splitting their power. And that information is crucial. Sometimes you can lose a member because of that, but the information for the next circle will be way more valuable than a member itself. Because otherwise, you're just gonna, roll a die, and do we have a good rotation or not?
Lithuanians versus Russians right now in this fight as GRUBIE seem to have conquered that land. But in the meantime, actually, boys from Crimson have found themselves a better spot. They're in the circle, and they're going to be playing this position themselves, just waiting for the boys from Russia to try and peek over that crest. And as soon as they do, they're going to get absolutely decimated. There's one guy coming in from the backside of GRUBIE as well. Let's see if Pybus will be able to find himself any kind of frags. The SKS, very powerful rifle. If it does connect, or sorry, DMR, if it does connect, it will be wiping out the boys. And in the meantime, found himself one member from Copenhagen Flames who did that split, but have lost one guy here. And he's going to be holding on to his fire, not for too long there. 80 as well dies down. So it's just going to be 5 teams left alive in this situation here. And Flames are taking shots from Pybus, but they're not paying attention to GRUBIE, who are sneaking in from the backside. If you look at the mini-map here, GRUBIE, Snoopy is actually leading the pack. Let's see if they get any kind of close to Crimson right now. Oh, okay, so 3 guys are watching that angle. This is good. GamemodE goes in for a nade in the dark. Not going to connect with anybody there. The counter nade comes in, but it's not necessarily the best. However, Pajama Man, the man himself, comes in with a nade. And that's a good one here. Let's have a look on the right side of the screen as we see the map. Or sorry, the players from above. Actually, if we transition to Pajama, you know, that's still on the right side here. He's going to be going for the crouch. He knows he's got an enemy close to the other side there on the tree line. GamemodE holding on to the tree. He doesn't need to move, but Pajama does. He's not inside the circle. Now that he is, he could actually play a bit of a flying, but he's a bit afraid to go to his right. And you know why? Because he knows that there's teams in there.
This is going to be a rough situation, but at the same time, who is going to survive on that lower side of the circle, on the south side? They will have an advantage because it is high ground for them. And with the next rotation, Flames are really in a tough luck. They have to go through an empty space of almost nothing.
And there goes Pajama, who will die down now. It's just going to be 3 teams left alive. In this situation here, the Flames indeed found themselves in a dire spot once again. These guys have absolutely no chance at this one.
And
No
the problem
chance
is they have
whatsoever.
a small ditch
Yeah.
that they can hide right now, but otherwise...
Oh!
Oh, okay, but if they can pull off shots like this, that will buy them some time,
Yes,
and
it
they
will.
can avoid the shots from the other team. They might have a small chance. Also depends, of course, if they have smokes, but this is
yeah, very important.
really a tough situation for them. So, Crimson looking really good right now, especially with the SKS holding the angle, but he is getting shot as well. No Kevlar on him. No Kevlar. Every single shot might be almost lethal.
Yes, indeed. Crimson is going to be taking shots at Flames, and also NLG taking shots at Flames as well.
A lot of empty cans in the grass. Don't spoil. No. No, man.
Don't spoil what?
The earth.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah. Be eco-friendly, please.
Exactly. Put
Outsider.
those cans when they belong into the trash.
There you go.
Okay.
Outsider now trying to put the Flames into the trash as he tries to put out their fire here. Does not connect with the Groza here, but he has to stick on 2 angles, and it's not an easy task to do. NLG haven't showed up the whole freaking match. They only have 1 total kill from Jansen, and well, it looks like they snaked their way into top 3, and they actually might be on the 2nd place if Flames are kept away. But because NLG is being put under pressure by Crimson, that gives Flames a chance to enter the circle. So now it's pretty much a 50-50 situation for pretty much everybody. And Crimson are going to be on the lower end as they have to make their way inside. Jensen now holding on to his spot there. 4X on top. Outsider finally connects with his Groza. Flames finds a frag against Crimson. Crimson looking bad at this moment in time. I don't know if they have more than 2 guys. They do have more than 2 guys left. So that was a kill after a down.
Interesting to see that Crimson even allowed this to happen.
Oh my god, they try to be proactive. They try to take shots on NLG, but it doesn't work out. NLG will put them down, and now it's just going to be Copenhagen Flames versus No Loot Gaming. Jansen will be holding out with the red dot there. I feel like he could use the 4X as well.
And you know
All
what's
about to
funny?
find out where the circle goes.
Both of those teams are coming from the Bravo
They're coming
division.
from the Bravo, yeah.
And they're going to win one of the first game of week 2.
And that shows you that there's a chance for everybody pretty much there. Slam. Did he spot his enemy? He might have. He could have. Oh, tell me he did. That would be a 6-6 shot if he actually has. The circle is actually not encroaching any of the teams, so they're both going to have to make their way in. But here comes the frags from 3D Butts and Jansen. Good shots, and DG Thang as well coming in with 1. And that leaves 1 guy left alive, Noise, with a sliver of life on him. And he has a first aid kit. He could be potentially using that one there, but do they know where he is? His teammate trying to body block him. Jones is going to be putting himself in the line of fire. That's a dangerous situation, and they might have read it. Did they read it? No, it works out. Noise actually gets himself healed. He gets a chance at into the game here. Of course, it's a 1v4 situation.
1v4. He's going to pull this off. It's going to be amazing.
It's a tiny chance, but he can make it happen. Come on, make it happen, Noise. Pull a 6-6 nade and show us what you got. It looks like NLG are not going to be having any of that. They're already on the hunt. All 4 guys trying to scout and find. Noise is going to be taking 1 down. That's a good start, but that should be all she wrote. And it is indeed. It's going to be GG on the chicken dinner.
Was
for
close, though.
No Loot Gaming.
Look at
very
Jansen's
spicy
HP. Literally 1 more bullet to his thumb, and he would be knocked out.
But
and
then-
that would just put him at 1 versus 2.
Oh, there you go. Well, it didn't work out, though, did it? No, it didn't.
Yep.
LG taking in the chicken dinner. Very well done by them. Well, very well done, actually, to not do too much, but have smart rotations. Because you saw that circle earlier on as a viewer, and we saw it as well. There were so many teams in such little space. I wonder how NLG actually managed to navigate safely into the path of those final circles without actually having to spot or be spotted by anybody. That's pretty sick.
It was very interesting because I think like Crimson kind of dropped the ball when it comes to the map awareness, or they were just pressured from the north, and because of that they had to drop division on, not division, division.
The vision.
Division, yeah, on the team that was currently approaching them from the east side. That was a problem for them at least. They had a good situation, they had a high ground, but they couldn't take the advantage of that because they were under pressure and they couldn't have vision on the east side.
Yeah, exactly. They were kind of trying to chase two rabbits or
Yeah.
shoot two rabbits
was
with one shot.
Mexican standoff for them, and they were on the short stick. How do you say that? They
which?
pulled the short.
They
straw.
pulled. They drew the short stick. Yeah.
Ah, exactly.
So there you go. That's an unfortunate thing for Crimson, but not a problem at all. Of course, still number 3 is not a bad position at all whatsoever.
If
and
I'm
they
not
got some kills as well.
We had 3 new teams from Bravo in the top 4.
Let me see. Can we see the top 4 again?
I think it was also Havu. Sorry, not Havu,
No,
but
Havu Gaming
Great
went
People
down there.
only.
Yeah, great.
Also in
yeah.
the top 4.
With Cueran Pasca. Man, I love to say that word because I don't normally. I'm not allowed to say it because it's not that. Well, it's not a bad word at all. I mean, it's Finnish for poo poo. So there you go. It's not that bad. It's like everybody knows that word. It's fine.
Well, give him a prefix with Pampas and it will be fine.
Something that wasn't poo poo is this highlight. Let's have a look at it. So FuzZe is going to be going into, and look at the mini map here, guys. See number 555. There's a split coming in from FaZe. So FaZe is squad number 5, and they have a split. They have a dual angle. So once FuzZe finds his frag, because their enemy, they're Venti, then his teammates come in as well. And Mixie actually doesn't need to use that split at all. He just goes in ham with those nades. Every time I see nade kills, it's pretty cool, man.
It's really good to see utility being used to the full extent. We had seen that in the first
I love that.
preseason of GLL, especially. I think that's a memorable situation, a highlight for me and for other people as well. The Penta quadra kill, that was
so historically beautiful.
really well played. And then it also was followed up by smoke setup to loot the teams that they had been fighting against, and also was followed up by a highlight of, can't remember the player who did that, but it was one player approaching his opponent while a plane was above them, so you couldn't
could be
hear
heard.
his footsteps. So that was a really memorable situation. Like it was like 2 minutes of full action. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was. Some great PUBG edge we have tonight as well, just to show you how great it was. Again, let's have a look at ForZe's not against 2 of their enemies here. It's an unfortunate moment. I think it was just Cueran. It was just Cueran left alone. This sample. Look at this knock from DieZzz. The way he boldly goes out. So he goes to the tree line just for the reload. You'd normally think in normal situations he'd stay there and try to find a different play. But he just goes out and he finds the kill. That was freaking sick, man. You know, that kind of like a big,
Boldness.
bold play. Yeah, big, bold play. That's what gets you the chicken dinner in the end. Well, not necessarily the chicken dinner, but the frags at least, because the point with NLG is that they didn't actually get any kind of action before, but they snuck their way inside the safety of the circles, which is to strengthen the point that you were trying to make. That positioning, knowing how to position yourself on the map, is even more important sometimes than the frags. So there you go, just to strengthen that point.
That is true.
How important it is for NLG that we actually haven't seen the whole match. I have no idea how they actually made it so far. But there you go. They freaking got it in the end.
Yeah, well, you can just make a small comparison, right? For winning a game, you get 200 points. For getting 20 kills, which is almost 1/3 of the entire server, you get 160, right?
So you get to second place.
Kind of hard to
20.
pull off 20 kills, right? I mean, we have
Not with
seen
these teams. Yeah,
last
it's not
week
easy.
we had seen FaZe with 18 with 17, and then King win the game after with 18. But that was like extraordinary.
Yeah.
So getting 20 kills is like insane. So to get even more, to just get the same amount of points that we would get for winning the game is almost impossible,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
In a high competitive setting. I'm not talking about public games here.
No, yeah, obviously we're discussing Pro PUBG, which is what we're gonna have plenty more of. Just to remind you guys at home, this was only the first match. We will be coming back with 2, 3, 4, and 5. There you go. We got 5 matches tonight, guys. So stick around.
Sponsored by Sesame Street.
By who?
Sesame Street.
Oh, Sesame Street.
Yes.
Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, I get
And ABC. GLL.
you. ABC or GLL? Make up your mind.
GLL.
Is that better? Yeah. All right. Break time.
Can you get me home? Or will you lead me to another place before I overload into the mess of all our broken ways? Give me a signal. Can you get me home? Or will you lead me to another place before I overload? Back into the mess of all our broken ways. Give me a signal.
So someone was saying, like, you look like you just woke up. There you go, my friend. Good morning. And welcome straight back into GLL. Match number 2 is underway. We're going to be starting pretty soon. Myself, Bogdan, Boogie Carp. I think the Twitter handle, I just missed it. Every time I miss it, man. Every single time. There it is. If you don't know where I can be found, then this is exactly where. Give us a follow on Twitter. Of course, follow Lothar HS, of course, for
That's
Jakub.
me.
Lothar HS Shigulski. Yes. First try.
Yeah. All right.
What? Come on.
Almost.
As you say.
Shigulski.
What did I say?
Like, you kind of switch,
Sure.
like, S and Z with each other.
Yeah. Wait, do you normally switch your ass and your Z?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Let's go. Let's make a little adjustment. Let's just remind the people at home, because we made a little error in communication earlier on. So it's not going to be 3 Arrangeos, 2 Miramars. It's going to be 2 Arrangeos, 3 Miramars. We're just swapping them around. We're not starting them with Miramar. So we're going to be finishing with those. Oh, there you go. There you go. Do you like my hair now? Okay, it's still scuffed. Still looks like I'm that guy from freaking, I don't know what his name is, from The Sixth Element.
The actor is called Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. All right, fine.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the scoreboards.
And his name is Zod.
Zod, yes, that's the one. Thank you, finally. NLG coming in with the chicken dinner there. First place for them. They're going to be getting themselves 248 points. Not too bad, if I can say so myself. 6 frags in total, not a lot. So
That's not a lot of frags, actually, when it comes to all teams, right? They seem to be very evenly split, which is not bad, actually. I like when it starts like that. It puts a lot of pressure on all teams, not just, one team's kind of feels safe because they have 1 million frags and 2 wins.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, Bravo is taking the lobby by storm.
Yeah, man.
By Bravo, I mean the teams that advanced
Yeah, man.
from the Bravo lobby into the Alpha lobby. Nold Gaming, Copenhagen Flames, and Wait, what happened to Great People Only? Thought they were 4th.
No.
All right,
Somehow
well,
they finished 6th.
Still good. First and second place
Yeah,
is is a team from the Bravo lobby, so that's pretty decent. Other than that, Team Kinguin on the last place.
Unfortunate. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to ask Larson what happened in the first match, because I'm actually curious. They normally they stay together and they fight as one unit, and it works out great for him.
They'd like 2-2 splits.
Later in the circles, not in the early times. They do the 2+2 splits when it's about to come to a new circle, and they want to make sure that they're going to be in the next one. But this time they weren't 2+2. They were 1+1+1. They're very, very spread
Quick
apart.
maths. Yeah.
Quick maths, not in this lobby, funnily enough. But there she goes. Second bird is in the sky, and she's coming up strong. This time around, it seems to be a similar plane path, but mirrored, touching the western base, but avoiding where people, or clans rather, like FaZe love to go, towards the Milta, Lebovka, those kinds of areas. Still reachable, of course, by vehicle or by a long drop. You can go find yourself a vehicle closer there, maybe perhaps towards the shelter area at that crossroad. We'll see how it works out here. I think FaZe is not going to be too phased about the situation.
Yeah,
But
I'm kind of
that's-
worried about their positioning, though.
That's the problem. But the thing is, they're a fast looting team, and the fact that they're using Milta Power and small Milta Power means that they're going to be that much faster, because those are fast places to loot. So when you we'll actually have a look later on. We'll have a look at how they loot. Perhaps we can track down, have an overview on how they split and how they choose to go, because every person has their role. They all know what chambers to look for, etc., etc. So they're super fast at that one. Another one the one that I actually love the most to see is Method. They're the fastest looters, in my opinion, in the whole map, and they've got Pachinki to themselves. So it's not that easy. But yeah, let's have a look at what's happening there.
Who is cool, by the way?
Who has cool Yerpsias of Finstack there?
Interesting.
Yeah. Not bad. There you go. There's a lot of people in North George. A lot of people in North George. Crimson decide to stick. 2 of their teammates went to Zharki, but 2 of them actually stuck around, and they've caught Tinto Gold between a rock and a hard place. They're ForZe as well, having a little element of North George to themselves, whilst Kinguin, they lavish in all of the south side. No problem whatsoever for them. They're going to be quite happy. And now look at Havu again. Havu's positioning on the south side. They're close to GRUBIE. Normally, Havu, just to remind you guys at home, they like to go Primorsk. They love to loot that place. But knowing that GRUBIE is into the game, they're playing this one smart. So they know how to loot the other places as well. And having this in your this kind of knowledge of how to loot different areas as well is actually quite a powerful thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in. Your boy, gonna be bringing you the interview. It's hot with a high chance of Greygasms. I don't know, man. Okay. Talking about
And
not-
meatballs falling from the sky.
Oh, damn. That's some spicy stuff, man. Talking about Greygasms, let's have a look at Lothar. And we can actually, there you are. Actually, we can go to Lothar's screen right now. There she goes. There's your boy.
What happened?
When you see me talk and not look at the camera, I'm talking to Lothar there.
That's me.
How you doing, man?
Yeah.
You want
Well,
pan?
what happened with the circle? No, no pants, thank you.
No pants? No pants? Oh yeah, by the way, F-boy pants, just to let you guys know.
It's pretty dark. You can't really see
Shout out to
much.
Gibby actually on this one. Now, let's have a look-see poo at Sadovnik because you're going to be having a fight. That fight is actually going to be stumping rather. Let's zoom in. Hang on, check this out.
You're gonna crash it.
No, I'm not actually zooming in.
Oh,
It's
you're a
not-
Jedi.
Yeah.
Jedi mind tricks. Okay, those are not the players you're looking for.
So Sambala is going to try and make an escape out of his current situation. All right, so that's going to be a battle. Let's zoom back out. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at way. So the way Havu have been playing this one here. They're looting this area there. Last game they were looting the farm area there. This time around they're not going to be there. They're going to be challenged out of that spot. But because the plane kind of went this trajectory, they're happy to stick around to this spot. Now, necessarily in squads, you're not going to have the best of loot. But in comp PUBG, you have to understand the thing. Teams don't loot as much as we normally do when we play normal
Public games.
Public games, right? So we loot up until we're freaking level 3'd out, and then some more. Like literally, I was playing last night and I was kitted out level 3. My teammate was as well, but I still kept on looting because I was like, hey, what the heck not? You know what I mean? It's free. There's nobody here. We'll keep on looting. In comp games, you'll see teams loot up a little bit there, just so enough that they have something to work with as for battles. Maybe some level 2 loot, armor, and helmet, and then they're gonna go off to the races, making sure that they're in the circle. And you already see teams already making their way into there.
Look at the method. They already have a scout going in the middle of the map, taking the east side of the circle because they need to have information on what is happening from Georgopol.
Yeah, man. So there you go. That's the smart thing about them. They always sent one scout in, and actually lately we've seen that teams don't necessarily send scouts anymore, or not all the teams send scouts. They're still the scout strat is still being used, but what they're thinking is it really worth losing a guy just to find out if a compound is safe rather than moving as an entire unit?
I think it depends on the vehicle they found. If they have like a 2-man bike, I think it's worth to send a scout.
You know what it is? You know what changed it? The circles, the adjusted circles. Because right now, as it is, with these circles that you see here that have been adjusted by the pros, congratulations, actually well done job to them. Because you can outrun the blue, you don't necessarily need to go for the center strat anymore. The center strat is where all the teams will gather up in the center of the circle to have the highest chance. Because if you have a circle here and you're here, then you have an easy access to that one, right?
Yep.
Or anywhere else on the map. Anywhere else, you could have a higher chance to get into it. Let's get back to the fight, though, because stuff is happening. Let's see what's going down.
And we see 2 AZs and 2 down people. But there's a rescue coming already. If I'm not mistaken, that's PD?
Peter.
Peter. Already rescuing
Peter.
his teammates.
Yeah. So, just to finish off the idea earlier, the center strat is still powerful, but teams are starting to play the edge a bit more. That's why they're not sending so many scouts as they used to before. Method still using the old method. See how I implemented that one in there? And they're quite... Okay, so I've learned what quite impossible is. But they're not going to get punished about it. Ooh-wee! Layton laying him down.
Fire. Holy moly.
It was like scripted. Well done. Yeah, that was pretty sickening. And the fact that he's got his teammates close, coming in with that dodge, will further more lower the chances that ForZe will stop. So there you go. Method find themselves a nice little spot.
Well,
they're
he had
not
a level
necessarily
1 helmet, so one headshot in three-quarters of its health was down. But this UAZ will not last long. So if for few more shots we're going to take down this UAZ, this will be a really bad spot for Peter. But in this situation, I think the wall did take actually like 3 bullets of 4. So that was the... That was a prayer for Peter
Where
here.
ForZe is right now, we have to say this. Where ForZe is right now is a very powerful compound. Ooh, a little fight starts off here. Limitless and Kingwin going at it. Gassy's going to be going into the water here. Actually has a chance to go into the circle quite safely. Ooh, but that need. Okay, baby. Let's see if it connects. The river is deep, so it will explode at the bottom. There you go. He didn't cook it.
I
Gassy's
think with
gonna
the
be a
old
bit-
river, he would actually be dead.
With the old, yeah, absolutely. He would have been absolutely body decimated, destroyed. And, ooh, the jukes. This is a smart little juke here. Papa is just going to give up on that one. Papa in Appa. We'll find a different place to fight it. Oh,
And he's got to hit in mid-air.
Gaxy's actually taking fire. That's so smart from Gaxy. He's like, oh, I'm
Where
just
you
gonna
going,
pretend
bro?
to be a fish, but I'm actually not. Pretty cool. Now, ForZe talking about the center circle, center of the circle. They have a very, very powerful compound. The one they have, or the Alamo 2, as some people refer to it. But yeah, they have a very decent spot. Score number 10.
Look at the lines. What they're doing. They're split
Military.
so badly. We have one guy military.
Yeah.
Then we have Meteor
Meteor,
going
yeah.
into the circle. Then we have Fever already taking a compound, one of the yellow houses, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then we have...
That's
where's the
it.
fourth guy?
There's just 2 guys on the military base.
Oh, all right. Didn't see that +1.
Uh-huh. So there you go. Very, very split. This could be dangerous for him. They need to... Fever needs to hold off a compound by his lonesome self. And to do that, he's going to be swapping weapons so that it kind of sounds like he's more than one dude. He's a puffer fish. This is what we call the puffer fish. You know those little fishies? They go, whoop, and then they're like, they look like they're big, but
They're
they're
cute.
tiny. No, not Q-fish.
All right,
Here.
well, he's joined by
Yar.
Meteors, and now there are 2, so they
Yar
can
a
use
kid.
4 different weapons to make even more noise. But nice shots with the Mini, which is not a weapon you usually see nowadays after the nerf. But as you can see, it's still being used, but Sika is being taken down by Flix. The guy that died to the circle last time, this
No.
time took down someone with it.
And there you go. It's like took some shots at him, but they didn't necessarily connect. Teams mostly made their way into the circle, but we still have plenty more on the outside. You see Halvor pretty far away, Alliance pretty far away. We see some FaZe coming in with a late push as well. FaZe again, a team that, well, they're being forced to come late into the circle because the plane wasn't their friend. If you remember the initial plane trajectory on the west side from north to south, but now that they're done looting their multi-powers, they're going to be okay coming in. Now, let's have a look at Team Jartsi Mitav. I'm not going to say that. They're going to have to find a compound, and the problem is that most of the compounds they're going to go to are actually taken, unless... oh no, Zulu does have... the gas station, does he? Yeah, he does. We can see it on the mini-map. Zulu indeed has another powerful spot on the opposite side of the river from Alamo, for second Alamo, sorry, rather. They will be very happy to keep this one.
It's an interesting position, but the problem is it's kind of hard to rotate if you have to change your position on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind actually having that situation right now. What I see though, Method and ForZe are splitting a very common compound for one team to actually be split in those 2 compounds at the same time. But now they have division against each other. The gas station from where Method is right now, you have a really good line of sight to the compound next to the bridge.
And if you hear some knocking on the wood on the desk, it's just that we're loving the game a bit too much. I don't know what's going down under there, but I don't want to check it.
No comment.
No comment. There you go, FaZe.
Axiti right now would, I think he was knocked from his own bike.
I think, yeah, there you go. Cherchez la femme.
Well,
Cherchez la
The
bike.
bike is just chilling there, so I'm guessing he has like a diabolic laugh right now. Bike.
Thank you to Anselenso, who has elucidated us on what Koiran Boska means. It means dog poop.
Dark?
Dog.
Oh,
Like
dog.
doggo.
Okay.
Like dogo. Right. That's a very good, valuable information. I was actually hoping for for Larson to tell me what happened first match, but Anselenso still stepped through and told us what's going down. Now, first circle is indeed going to be closing down. The next one is a very, very important. As you can see, there's not that much water in this one, so it will be a very, very large land mass, but still a land mass that doesn't necessarily contain all the... oh, look at the gap! All the compounds in the world.
The gap is closing. Like in League of Legends.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yeah.
What is League of Legends?
It's a mobile game. Anyway, but we have a Battle Royale
Can you
game
call
right
it a
going
game
right now.
if it's mobile? No. Isn't it more like a grind?
Let's see the east side of the circle, because this is going to be interesting. Both teams, I mean Crimson right now has a really good situation if they're going to stop at the compounds east side of Saverny, but they're taking the route to the next circle already. So now we'll have a lot of rotations, and based upon how the circle will kind of spawned, all the teams traveling into the next circle will know that most of the spots will be already taken.
Here comes Sailor, though. Already case shot close by an outsider. One knocked out is going to be taken down as well. And that's going to be Oshiroji. Thank you. Making the rotation from a different position. Mila will be quite happy to take all that he can get from this lucky little fish that just jumped in the wrong barrel. Isn't
Look
that
at that.
unfortunate?
All teams that lost a member were different teams. So it's evenly spread out.
No.
And that means
The
that this circle
rotations.
will be even tougher for everyone.
Absolutely. It is not an easy one. Where FaZe is right now is a decent spot, but that's a compound very difficult to keep, even as a squad, the place where FaZe are right now.
Crimson
Havel's
has a
still on the outside.
fantastic position right now.
So here, what happened here? So Havel went towards the quarry area there. They're split on that one there, but they had the plane path to their advantage. So they just took a lot of time. They're just this is not the fact that they were deprived of loot. This is just them trying out new things. Interesting. I want to look at this narrative later on and see how it pans out for Havel. Keep this team in mind. And we'll see how far they make it into the top 10. Right.
Coyote right now taking some fire.
Coyote.
Coyote.
Oh, sorry.
Coyote from Great People Only. 6th place in the first game. Jansen getting downed already. Wow, the guy that got the final kill in game 1 now got destroyed from his bike while riding his bike. So
Yeah.
no loot gaming with 2 members alive. The first team that lost half of its squad. Kingwin following GRUBIE into the circle. Let's see if they're gonna take the same route or they will go more north.
I think they're more warranted for a northernmost approach, and that's what they're going to be doing. They've got Larson behind them to tell them where to go, and that guy's smart. Nobody took the actual hill crest on Stalber, is what Answer is pointing out. Nobody's in that spot there. Between Flames and Crimson, there's no team, and that's interesting enough. You can get surprised in those areas what teams learned, and that's perhaps one of the reasons why they haven't gone up there. So we can't really blame them for it. Some fights come back and forth between obvious team Royal Banditos, and I think there's just one guy. It's just 2 guys from Vegas Squadron on squad number 8. Nothing too much happening right now. Finally, Havel making their way in. So what did they hope to achieve here? Because it's still 18 teams alive. Most of the players are still on the server. So
Well, they
this
can't
late
really,
rotation, what does it tell us?
they can't really go into the circle from the west side because it's pretty open. So they want to have basically no cover, right? So they will have to be committing to east-south side of the circle. Otherwise, they'll have to rotate to Stalber. I don't think that's gonna happen unless they're really brave. So we're gonna see.
Yeah, true. This was a difficult circle to boot for a Primorsk looter team or quarry looting team like Havel. Or a farm looting team. No, actually, from farm it would have been much easier. But yeah. Oh, yeah. With the Mark 14. This shot. Ooh, that's a heavy hitter, too, man. That brought 54 to 50 HP. 54 HP. He's going to have to use some bandages there to heal up. His teammates, they're a bit confused. They don't necessarily know what's going on. Oh, you're finding a little bit of a crevice there. Just a little bit.
What's that on the head?
Man, if you would literally connect that, that would be so sick. That's the squad number.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's the
God damn.
latest. Yeah, that's a good thing to point out. Oh, there she goes. I think it would be better if the text would be a little bit bigger, though. I would like that on the squad number. You know what I mean? It would be pretty cool. And of course, the clan tags, which would be so super nice. Now, Havel have made their way at the very edge. They're still playing that area there. Most of the teams are now settled in here. You see loads of colors. A bit of a rainbow there. Bob Ross painting, if you will. But
54 with
not a lot of them
almost-
painting with bullets. That's a
almost-
good place, man.
up, almost dead already. Like, look at that UAZ. I'm sure it's being.
I don't think
just
he's got armor. Can we?
drilled.
Yeah, can we spec on 54th? Let's have a look and see. He's got damage level 2. Okay. So he was put to half-life by the Mark 14, and now he took some damage again. But at least he's got a very powerful place, especially looking at this circle. There she goes. The third circle showing up. It's ugly, reary head. Havu finally starting to make their way, and finally all of them right now are inside the safety of
So-
the current blue.
There is some water in the circle, but most likely it's gonna just be safe for one circle.
It's
and
yeah,
that's not
yeah,
enough.
exactly. This water is not going to carry to the final circle, so there's absolutely no need for teams right now to do the insurance method of putting one guy into the water area. So yeah, there's absolutely no point to do that right now. Now, still 18 teams, still a lot of fighting happening here, but not a lot of them connect. We'll see if anything
64
pans
people
out.
alive, and
Let's
we're
have a look
going
at
into the
rotation.
fourth circle. So the next 5 minutes gonna
Look at
be
Method.
really rough.
Where is Method going? We'll look at the map for now as it is. While we are indeed zoomed in on them, if we need to have a look closer to what's happening. It looks like they're stopping by close to ForZe. Ooh, I don't know if I like this one. Ah, they're getting out. And they're taking the shots. But because this road is as hilly as it is, oh, they will connect, actually. Leighton finds himself a frag, but then again, Andy's going to be taking some shots himself. It's going to be AZ that joins him in the car. They're going to group up with Leighton and try to go aggressive, rather. Oh, it's just going to be one guy from ForZe left in that duel there. And, well, he's going to have some saviors behind him. It looks like Limitless helped out ForZe in this situation. Leighton just, Leighton just left for scraps. So you guys are...
That was a really weird situation.
There you go. Finally, one team taking that spot that we were talking about earlier on. These ridges here on the west side of Stallbar. Very powerful place to work with. You're a place where you can kind of get surprised. So you have to always look out around you. Now, Havu still making their way in. There's some team. There's a team coming in from the east side as well. Two teams coming in from the west.
ForZe in the
Very
crossfire for
bait.
Royal Banditos as well. This is not looking good at all.
Oh, not looking good for Havu. Does Havu know this? They definitely heard that explosion. No, actually, they might have not heard that explosion. They might make their way towards their enemies. No, they're choosing to go a bit further down the road. That's smart for them at this time. Having a look at the map again. And we will see most of the teams are actually in. And they're quite safe.
Havu was taking a really long rotation from the south side of the circle, taking over the bridge, going into the south side of the new circle.
No, Monk S.
But Vanity he seemed like he really needs the loot, and look at his items. 0 heals. 0. So he's absolutely getting demolished right now, especially after the knock.
What? And here comes the push. Martin with Taylor trying to get into that situation, see what they can find. And it's got to be Tinder Gold aggressing here. That nade indeed was the shout, the call to go in an explosion of a push. And that happens indeed. Martin comes in with the knockout there. Just one guy left alive. Flicks. They're prone in behind that dot here. Botsman's going to be taken down. Verity's going to be falling down as well. Now these Flicks alone in a 1v2 duel. I don't think that Martin and Taylor have too many chances to stay outside too long. So they realize this, turn back around. And we'll just go for a little boost perhaps.
Tinder Gold is making the aggressive plays. I like it a lot, but it doesn't look good for House of Nobles. The first game for them wasn't really that great as well, and now they're losing members in the third circle.
And a res will happen. Havu in the meantime found themselves in. Still 18 teams left alive, as you can see on the top right corner and on the very left side of the screen. You can see the team
Look
tracker.
at the pincer move from Method right now. Their teammates are being dropped at, but they're a little bit too late.
Yeah.
8Z, sorry. A little bit too late to be of rescue for his teammates, but he is good enough to take his opponent down.
And you know, will he help Max's or out? Vegas Squadron now in a Vegas Squadron now in a pincher. And you know, far away tries to make an escape. Andy doesn't want to let him go, but 8Z gets himself knocked. So that means Andy alone. And his teammate is going to go down. That's it. He's going to have to snake his way in. Any Noel. He might go for the peak here. Oh, this is dangerous for Andy. He's not in this. Now he is in the circle. But he's got a car, a 98, and we know what he can do with this weapon. Oh! There she blows indeed.
Perfectly.
And this might give him a chance to go back and loot his fallen teammate here, and that's what he will do indeed. But just to his north, he's going to have a team, and that is Crimson. He's going to have to play this one safe. And he can get up here. Yeah, there you go. He needs a better helmet in this situation anyway. If you're going to be playing as a solo, get yourself the best gear you can find and just kind of thrown in. Don't take any shot. Well, that's not going to be Andy, though, is it? He's going to take all the shots he can take.
And he has a
No,
level
not
3
really.
vest. So he's ready to fight if he's going to get that better helmet, as you said. At the same time, look at that. Andy
He's
taking
taking
shots. Just
Why?
like that. He doesn't really care.
No. Oh,
and he
that-
might pay the price, the highest of prices.
That is very correct. He almost gets taken out. Just a sliver of light left on him.
Man, that I don't think that was a good decision. 7 teams left alive, and he's taking shots at a team that is rotating like 200 meters away from him.
It's free real estate. It's Andy. If he sees a frag, he's going to take it. He thinks it's free.
I don't know, man. Could have been really, really bad situation for me.
Yeah, he didn't get a helmet. He didn't get any loot. He didn't get anything. All he got was some dinks on his armor. And now he's making his way towards Crimson.
And he killed off Animal finally.
Every time I cast and Andy comes up, it feels like a nature documentary. So now we see the predator come close by. The antelopes just north of him have no idea what's going down, but Andy doesn't either.
I think that's
Andy the lion. That's it.
Look at that. He didn't reload his car. Does that mean he has no more ammo?
Ooh, good question. Let's find out.
Crimson just on top of him.
Oh, the antelopes might turn around. They
And
shed
he's
their
being
current
spotted.
skin. Oh, and there
He
goes
took off
down.
his helmet right before the second shot.
So rude. So freaking rude. Jambawi finishes off what Andy's enemies started earlier. There you go. Vegas Prado started it. Crimson finished it. Brexco now takes one down. Alliance in a dire spot here. Meter seems to be the only one left alive with Sigsy aside. But those smokes are actually helping him as well. Brexco is going to juke him. He's going to put a nade in there just for seasoning.
Is that the last member of Excel Gaming? No, they have an
No,
entire
they got a
squad.
full squad. Yeah. They're doing good. They're doing Gucci at the moment. They got Crimson to the north. They got another team coming into the East Alliance. But they're doing okay-ish. Havu now have lost a member, it seems, here. The Finn stack. 2 Finn teams, actually. Both Finnish teams. But they won't be finishing each other. Yes, they will. Timmy will finish and Silenzo. Now, what can you do if you are the last guy from Alliance right now?
I think you're already dead.
Yas, Sigsy on the outside of the blue. Top right corner.
How?
There she blows. He's in a
There we
very
go.
bad spot.
You're
Oh,
right.
and Mixie as well on the lower end. Mixie, I think he got himself a frag, and it looks like the rest of FaZe are going to be joining in. Yes, Mixie did find himself a frag. And it's just Udire Fire who's going to be leaving that fight. And he's going to group up with his teammates. Sigsy now approaching Jambawi. Sigsy becomes the lion. He takes what is his. And now he's going to run away from that one. Level 1 armor, but he's got the level 3 Hummy. And that is not too bad.
Definitely not, since you can have micro movement with the peaks that you only see, the opponents will only see your helmet. So it doesn't matter what level of armor do you have on your chest when there's only your head visible, right? And then you take a headshot to whatever in your life, but now he's dead.
I was just about to
So-
say he's got the next circle.
That was
he
unlucky
does
for
that.
him.
Yeah, it is.
But at the same time, well, he did kinda
Oh?
say where he is.
No, it's going to be the lads from FaZe. Coming in close. Exalt. Mixie finds a knockout here.
Exile Gaming
kill
with
actually
some
it was.
casualties.
You know, Dear My Fire breaks go holding on to this spot. Just opposite of this rock. 30 seconds left. These boys need to finish this one up. Oh, Dear My Fire gets knocked out by Crimson. Crimson stepping in to help FaZe without them knowing. And FaZe now know that with that one down, they could potentially push here and find a victory. But they need to be careful. That side peek from Mixie. Not connecting just yet. Brexco actually did take some damage. Oh, and here comes Fuzzface to take him out of the match. Fuzzface putting that beard to good use. Cup of Magic already left the fight. He's going to be giving up on it completely. Let's have a look at Cup of Magic because Crimson are moving into him. And he's taking the shots from pretty much everywhere. Look behind him.
He's getting peppered
Oh,
right
Monk
now.
S. There she goes. Pybus finds the frag.
Really bad situation to be
Yeah.
in, since he had basically low ground for both of his opponents and no way of taking cover.
Now NBS calls out for his teammates to help him out there, but we'll look at somewhere else at the map here. Gaxi is in a bit of a fight here with the Russians, and he freaking breaks them to pieces. Vard helping him out as well. Oh, Russia stand no chance in the face of the 220 FPS Russia guy. Fantastic effort from Gaxi, the Lithuanian, showing him that it's not about the size of your country, it's about the way you handle your scar.
Man, that was a sick situation from Gaxi right now.
Oh, yeah.
The
He's a
control
freaking
of this
beast.
car was absolutely bonkers. I think he had a compensator on it, so it's a little bit easier. But, you know, Scar, it's an interesting conversation as well. Some people say Scar is an easier to control weapon than an M4 because the fire rate is lower than the M4.
Shut the front door.
That's what people are saying, you know. I mean, you know, everyone knows that tier 1 is
gonna-
M4,
Yeah.
but because of the high rate of fire, some people have troubles, you know, with controlling the recoil.
Oh, right, I get you. But yeah, but you're doing the same thing just faster. I mean, it's better.
I mean, it's higher DPS,
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. So,
But you
I
need to
see your
hit the
point,
shots to get the DPS.
In
while-
terms of the sway, the M4 is still better indeed. Easier to control in that sense. But yeah, because it's faster, I see what you mean. Still, man. M4 day. All
but
day,
in
day.
competitive setting, you play what you get.
If Moses hears you right now, if WTF Moses hears you, he's gonna freaking go bonkers.
About what?
That guy is like, M4 is life, dude. Freaking never drop the M4 from your inventory. You're a dumbass if you do that, man. You know, the way he's got that, like, lower pass enabled on his microphone. But Jamaienok, the last one standing alive, and Gaxi has a present for him. Oh, it's just behind the buggy. Monk S moments for Pajama Will Gaxi push in here? Ooh, he goes and makes himself small. Oh, and he gets himself knocked out by Pajamas. Predictive nade. This guy's a freaking Nostradamus. But the rest of Kingwood are going to be there to help him out. Will they, though? Will they is my question. No.
That guy is nuts
They
with
come.
nades.
Yeah,
He's
man,
hitting nades
yes.
every single game. That is
Yes.
really impressive, actually.
Yeah, and the thing is, because he reads where players are going to be like 5 seconds after he throws it because he doesn't cook them. He just throws them. He's freaking sick, this guy, man. He sees in the future. It's
looking
just
for more
sickening.
blood right now.
Well, he
Look at
knows
that.
he's got a team in there, so he needs to take care of them before he enters the circle, right? Oh! And
He
he takes
lands the
Vart down.
headshot as well.
2 guys left from Kingwin here.
And now he has also Dacia if he needs. For
Yes, he
cover, I
does.
mean.
Yes, he does. But yeah, the buggy, he could drive it in and use it as cover later on. He's going to be boosting himself first. Now, while we were talking here, 5 teams left alive. A lot of fighting happened on the south side of the circle here. Crim's MBS is going to be taking Gaxi down. Clear line of sight there and there. Ooh, look at Pybus. Where is he going to go? He turns around, stops before meeting with the rest of Kingwin. That's a smart thing because they know that there's 2 more guys, at least 1 more guy from Kingwin on that spot. So it's not going to be that many teams here in Crimson. I think they're looking pretty good, man. That's a big
Shooting
guy,
bodies,
Pybus.
that's really rude, bro.
That's so rude, bro. Crimson
That's a
being
smoke
proactive.
grenade.
Trying to take, is it Limitless that they're trying to take down? Yes, it is. And it kind of works out there. Walter, a bad spot. He's still going to be alive. For now. That blue's going to be coming in there. Pete in the meantime finds Limitless pop. Okay, so 5 teams. I want to know how many people are from Pete's team. I'm actually quite curious to see if Real Banditos are doing good. Nope, it's just Opie and Pete. Oh, no, actually, it's 3 people. So it's not too bad. But Jamie Noda sneaking his way in. Team GRUBIE doing pretty good here.
But the problem is, the west side of the circle is basically 3 different teams, while the entire rest of the circle is empty. So all those teams will need to squeeze in into that small part of the circle with each other. And now the nade from Pybus. Will it hit the Kingwin members nearby 2 UACs?
Oh!
What
There
a
it comes. Pocket red zones from Pybus.
One have to think, did they hear the nade when it kind of hit the ground and had no time to react?
Yeah, they probably just kind of were like, yep, that's it. We're done. Let's get out of here. Whoa, early Christmas present. That was sick from Pybus. Now continuing his reign of torture against Limitless. Not connecting, though, with Rose. Pete, in the meantime, lost Opia from his team. So Crimson, as we said, they're looking pretty good. Long-range spray from Pybus, man. That is legendary stuff. And there you go. Scar makes it easier because of the lower rate of fire. That is sick. To see a spray on a range like that, that is not bad at all. That's 150
Impressive, I have to
meters.
say.
150 meters of a spray. Who does that? That is pretty sick from
That
Pybus.
is the circle of death. And that means the damage is gonna stock really badly.
Oi.
He needs to get those medkits right now, otherwise he's dead. I think he started it a little bit too late, and he's dead.
Oh, look at his name. It's Walter. And he couldn't get in the white.
Oh my
Walter
God.
White. Is he
Yeah, I know.
Easy with it there?
I get it. I
Okay,
get it.
all right. I'm sorry.
But he kind of did start the medkitting kind of late.
Yeah. Opie is now going to get that res indeed. It's a 2v4 situation. Crimson know exactly where they are, man. These guys have no chances. Circle strangling again. At least Peter has that to his advantage. Tries to run for it. Doesn't necessarily work out. Opie in the meantime found an AVM shot against his enemies. But Luck
That's about
comes in
it.
with the closing Kobe. That's the way to close it down, Crimson.
How many kills is that?
Really
11,
making it-
15, 18 kills. as
Really
a
making
team.
it beautiful. Really making it beautiful towards the end of the game. The Crimson, man, what a match we had on our hands. And these guys were absolutely killing it. So they killed, first off, Exile Gaming. Then they took some shots against FaZe, but they gave up on that fight. Did they get scared? I don't know if they got scared or not. But they gave up on that fight regardless. Then they moved in. They swooped in and they destroyed Kingwin.
Yep.
2 guys knocked out from Kingwin, and then they finished off the other 2 guys. And then Limitless. And then it was just an absolute...
They were wrecking the lobby right now. And
Absolutely.
with the nades, fantastically played. I have to say, whenever you see a nade play, it actually
so good. man.
gets you, first of all, for the team, from team's perspective, it's great positioning. Because you know that most likely when you get a kill from a nade, you don't even see your opponent. Like,
Yeah.
you know where he is, you throw the nade, and you kind of hope you get a hit
Shows
it,
you
right?
good comms, right?
But it's good communication between between teammates. It's good positioning as well because usually you have high ground for those nades. So all those points like getting together for Crimson worked perfectly. Good rotations, high ground as well, right? And our map awareness.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a well-oiled machine right now. And not only the communication, but the kills as well. Like Crimson, 2 of the guys, ex-Blank members, Blank with a K, that team, who used to be the edgelords of PUBG, of Pro PUBG when we started the scene. They used to challenge everybody and everything. They used to camp the bridge. They used to do all kinds of like shenanigans
Yep.
to get themselves like, you know, like this is who we are. You know what I mean? We're a little edgelord. Very challenging kind of team. But they did a good thing. We were talking about this weeks ago. because doing this, they've learned how to put up fights and how to build confidence with this. Now they know how to shoot against pros, and that is a very valuable asset that Crimson have right now. Really, really powerful team. And there you go. When they show up, it's a freaking spectacle. Now, if there are any doubts that I'm Romanian, there's the vampire. Bite. Just in time for a haircut. I mean, lordy, lordy. What do I do? Do I just wear my hair like this? There you go. It's fixed. Let's have a look at the highlight and not Papa's ugly mug. Gaxi coming in here.
That's
bodying
a 3K
GRUBIE.
from Gax. Very well played. It's not even about, you know, the
Oh, it's
macro
fired as hell.
movement here. It's all about the aim.
Absolutely, man. It was actually him with the double, and Vard helped him out.
Well, still good enough.
Yes, dude. Absolutely. That was pretty sick. Gaxi is another Lithuanian. And those two guys from Crimson, by the way, are Lithuanian as well.
Lithuanian strong.
Yes, he's a good Lithuanian PUBG right now, man. Very, very nice showing, Lithuania. Very proud of you. I'm waiting for Poland, man, to come into PUBG because,
Well, we have one
What's-
team in GLL actually, Husaria.
yeah, but what's going on with generally? Why are you guys not at the top there? Because Poland, esports-wise, at least FPS shooters, top of the top. Okay, I can't say that anymore. Poor VP. But they used to rock the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, CS:GO is still the most popular game in Poland when it comes to FPS.
Ah,
But at the
okay.
same time, PUBG did take it by storm, right? But
It
the competitive
might
scene is
be.
kind of hard to get in, you know?
Yeah, it might be the same thing with Romania as well. Because right now in Romania, I can say this because I'm from there, guys. Don't get offended if you think, oh, he's dissing on Romania. This is the truth. There's not a lot of money in that country. We don't have the money to upgrade to PUBG specs.
That might be also a thing.
Could be a
Right.
thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's amazing to see actually in PUBG to see all those mixes, right? In other FPS games, you usually have a team with one country of origin, right?
Mhm.
In PUBG, right now, we've seen a lot of teams that have split,
English,
you know,
common language.
yeah, split languages in the teams, and they all speak English. So that's fantastic to see because that allows to build better teams
You know
in
what?
general.
You know what I thought at a certain point is PUBG is such a communication-heavy game. It's incredibly heavy on communication and on efficient communication. Furthermore, so you see a guy 240, yeah, like from here to here, it has to be instant from your brain to your mouth.
Yeah.
Guy 240, 3 squads. You know what I mean? 3 players there, take shots 200 meters away. If you're from a different country than a natively English-speaking one, it's not that easy. But still, we see teams that are not native English speakers be at the top. But look at Vitality. They all speak the same lingo, French, right?
Yeah.
And they're destroying wherever they go.
Well, I think it kind of goes both ways, right? You can be really efficient with your vocabulary when it comes to, you know, just call outs, right? You don't have to be super specific, but at the same
There you
time,
go.
sometimes it is
It
way
does
more
help.
impactful, especially in city-based fights,
Urban
right?
areas, yes.
So when you say, oh, guide, third floor, right window,
Yeah,
nearby the
yeah.
plant or whatever, right? And you get like this very specific info. It's
vocabulary.
way easier to do it in your native language, like super fast, instead of just translating it to English and then saying it, right? Because it can be already too late.
That's actually some good. That's actually, you know what? You're making a very strong point here. I know there's PUBG stats out there. I'm actually curious to see in urban fights how many of the teams that speak their native language actually come out on top.
Some conspiracy theory.
No, because you have a good point. It is indeed you have to use a more colored vocabulary, not colored, but varied vocabulary.
I mean, when you
So
have an open
you're right.
space, like, you know, like
Yeah,
you
240,
see
330.
here, right? You have a huge
Just
cliff
numbers.
or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
and you say, "Oh, guy, 240, top of the hill," and that's
Where?
about it, right? And you see it, and it's like, "Oh, okay, that's the guy there." But you have like 5 buildings, and you say, "Oh, this burgundy color,
Yes, navy blue. Yes,
yeah,
I get
navy blue, regal blue,
you. Enough yapping. Enough.
singe pink."
Yeah. Let's have a look at this sick double nade coming in from Pipers. There's no need for any kind of language in here. It's the general language of wrecked. There goes
Damn,
Lars.
son, red zone turned on.
Yeah, pocket red zones. And there you go. That was a second match for you. We got plenty more. We got 3 more matches, all of them on Miramar. So stay tuned for some spicy Latino action. Muy bien.
Can you get me home? Or will you lead me to another place before I overload? Into the mess of all our broken ways. You need a signal. you get me home? Or will you lead me to another place before I overload? Back into the mess of all our broken ways. Give me a signal.
Hey, welcome straight back into it, guys. Ladies and gents, we're opening the doors to a new map. It's not the first time we've seen it, of course, but it's the first time we're doing it tonight. Miramar, coming
And
at you.
this time we're gonna do it for 3 times.
That's what she said.
Look at your cable.
I'm sorry. I'm
It's a
so
cable
sorry.
from Deadpool.
I was caught off guard. I'll be honest. I'll blame it on production. Like 3 seconds, guys. Okay, hey, what's up?
Well, honestly, he's at 10.
Plenty of time to move your cables and do it 3 times. What?
Exactly. But Miramar 3 times, this is gonna be a little bit change of metagame.
Mm-hmm.
The
Well, let's talk
European
about that.
teams, let's say they are a bit more prepared on their angle, right? They started preparing for Miramar a little bit late into the split of maps. Everyone from European scene kind of was like, we're just gonna train Erangel instead, right? Miramar is kind of mech, so we don't want to train it too much.
No,
but
yeah.
then NA was kind of pushing it really hard, so the European teams had to kind of agree to play on Miramar as well. And now we also see it.
And they
in-
didn't push it hard. And they gave their opinion, but they actually didn't push hard.
I know that they trained from almost day one on Miramar.
Here's, and I might angry a few people, but whatever, they can get angry. NA is very civil in discussions on social, on whatever you want to call it. They expose their point of view and they kind of leave it there. They're very spicy in lobbies, man. I can tell you that on Discords when they're supposed to get ready, when teams go for the call outs, you know what I mean, that kind of sort of stuff. Very spicy memers in there, but they're friendly to one another as well. But when it comes to actually talking serious talk, they turn to very eloquent kind of gentlemen, so to speak. So I actually have a lot of respect for the NA scene right now. As small as it may be, of course, considering
It's kind of
that.
weird, right?
Yeah, he was a giant at this moment. He was an absolute giant.
Mhm.
But as small as it may be, they're still very civil in their discourse. And I want you to know this, NA guys. I really respect. I don't know if there's going to be any NA dudes watching right now. I think it's just mostly going to be you guys. But I really respect you for
Early
it.
morning.
Yeah, it's early
for
morning.
NA.
Well, it's
Well, for the West Coast, it's like 11
noon
a.m.
afternoon. Is this okay? Right,
Yeah.
right. Early morning. So okay, hang on a second. Streamer life. 11 a.m. is early
I
morning.
actually stream from 8 a.m. So
Oh, so it's not early morning then. 11 a.m.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
middle of the day. But we have results, right?
We do have results, and we're going to have a look at those results right about now. There she goes. Crimson Esports knocking it out of the park. 24 for Rags, 192 kill points there. And, of course, from 2 good placements, they're going to find themselves on 522 points, which is so much more than the second place NLG.
Yeah, the point difference is actually pretty huge. We have to watch the 8th place, I guess, right now to give that's the point where we actually have the cutoff, right? Actually, it's the 10th because 9 and 10th stay as the same. The bottom 8 are going down in the next week to
Yep.
the Bravo lobby. But in
Every
this
single
case, we have still 3 more maps. Teams like FaZe, Vega, Havel, Alliance. Those teams still have to fight in those 3 next maps to not get demoted.
Alliance, not too sure what's happening there, but they could, all the plans and whatnot. FaZe, of course, the traveling, they have to play with a sub. Method,
Might be tough, right?
Method I think they're already in there. I think they might have just left now. Yeah, I think, no, they did leave yesterday, perhaps. No, yesterday was actually Andy streaming from home, so they didn't actually leave for Katowice. But yeah, you can understand these teams are going to be going to this big land that, they got not jet lag, but you're playing from a different place. You're not in your kind of home kind of environment. You don't have your gaming chair, that kind of sort of stuff.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote, yeah.
But to
Forehead.
be honest, I played on a really large amount of lands, and the biggest problem for myself wasn't like the mouse, wasn't the keyboard, wasn't
The emotions.
the monitor not as well. The height of the desk. Really. That's like something that is really
Stop.
annoying. No, it's like when you have your arm, and it's sticking like on the arm on
And you
the
couldn't
desk because
adjust
it's no, because most of the desks on LAN they are pretty set. You can really
No, but
adjust
the
them.
chair, you couldn't adjust the chair around that.
It doesn't work that way, man.
Mm.
Not
Yeah,
only-
if the desk is bad, then you can have the best gaming chair out there.
I think that was also a huge discussion in some other tournaments from CS:GO when people were complaining on the height of the desk and so on. They had to change like the entire setup in the studio. It was like, oh,
They complained so much that they destroyed the desks at some point.
that also.
You remember, yeah, in PGL. That was pretty cool. we heard some information now. I would like that information to be repeated if possible, please. I will volume you up. Okay, so we're going to be going for a short break. It looks like Miramar is still having some issues with the custom
God
servers. Hopefully we will find a result for this one for this new lobby. If we don't, we will definitely come back with a solution to you. So don't you guys go anywhere. Well, I'll do actually for a couple of minutes until we remake the lobby, and we'll come back at you with a third match for Miramar.
Can you get me home? Or will you lead me to another place before I overload into the mess of all our broken ways? Give me a signal. Or will you lead me to another place before I overload into the mess of all our broken ways? Give me a signal.
10 minutes ago, we said in chat, 10 minutes to showtime, PogChamp. Starting now here at PogChamp. And now we do indeed. I just typed that message seconds ago. And now we're welcoming you into Miramar. It works, ladies and gents. It works indeed. And
Let's hope so.
myself, Bogdan Bugikarp, alongside Jakob Lothar H.S. Shugulski.
Thank you.
Was that good?
That was very good.
Nice. We're going to be welcoming you to a different map than the first two ones we had. It's going to be 3 matches of Miramar here tonight on GLL Season 1, Week Number 2, Alpha Lobby. And, yeah, it looks like the big bird's in the sky. So, without further ado, ladies and gents, here comes Miramar. Whew. Let's go.
That's gonna be an interesting plane since it's cutting off the entire northeast side of the map. All the teams will have to commit actually to the south side.
You think so?
Well, you know, I'm saying south side, but at the same time we're gonna see Hacienda, San Martin, Minas Generales, Impala being probably contested with 2 teams minimum.
The FaZe went there last week, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not too sure if FaZe are actually sticking around that part. But yeah, let's have a zoom out and see where all these teams are going to be going. And yeah, let's just enjoy this and see where FaZe actually drop. So, there we go. All right, my voice is a bit different perhaps, but that's okay. That's fine. That's
It's
not a
all
big
fine.
problem. Yeah, there you go. We got big boy Mr. Weatherman right here coming at you in just a few moments. We're swapping around the Weatherman roles. So, without further ado, here's a bit of a surprise for you. And you're going to be seeing Mr. Lothar.
Well, we'll still have to wait a little bit since we need to get all those teams into position to talk about, rotations and so on. So
Let's
we're
give it a-
gonna first see what's happening on the map because we have to actually watch and see what's gonna happen with the first circle before we can analyze what is gonna happen during the first rotation.
And here's
What is
some-
interesting, please.
Sorry, yeah, Crimson is actually interesting in this situation because remember last week they usually went Valle del Mar and they looted there, but this time around they're hanging around the El Pozo area. North of El Pozo, perhaps looking for some vehicles going to La Cabrera, or La Cabreria, rather. And FaZe as well changing their strat. So what that tells us is that EU...
my God! Yeah, please continue that one sentence. And but this circle is gonna be a huge problem for this part of the map. Well, maybe not with this, but it's gonna be a real problem when it comes to the teams that are currently sitting here.
That looks like a fish with giant eyes. Are you trying to tell us that the fish needs to go to water?
So this fish,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
this fish.
Yo, that fish is high AF. Look at the size of those eyes, dude.
This is like the deep sea fish.
Oh, is that the Noctiluca?
Yeah.
Give him that mouth then.
So that fish will have to rotate here into the water here. Right? And that's going to be a problem.
Big freaking eyes, but
No,
a
but-
nice freaking fish.
In all seriousness, this is a huge problem for all those teams being in the northwest side of the circle. Havu, Crimson, I think we have GRUBIE here, right, as well. We have Method, we have FaZe. Well, probably not that much of a problem for FaZe because they will rotate before all those other teams will rotate as well. But this small area here, which is packed,
yeah.
packed with teams, will have huge problems with the rotations. Not because of the fact that the circle is so far away, but because of the fact that they will have to rotate while the other teams will have the angle at them. Since Miramar is so open, you can't really have a good way of transporting the vehicles,
Yeah.
of transport vehicles without being seen.
It's so bumpy. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Now that
So
it's open, that is bumpy.
when they will
And
have
the
to
vehicles
take
are so much worse than Angel.
Yes. So when they will have to take routes, they will have to take like those kinda iffy parts of the map, right? So
Yeah.
they have no idea if someone did land there, if someone did not land there. We have to remember that the plane was taking
Yeah.
this angle,
Yeah.
right? So not an angle, this angle here, and that means if the teams from the northeast side want to come south side and go from the west side into the circle to maybe aim for this spot here.
That looks like a smiley face that is also super high. It looks like a melted smiley face. Like,
No, it's a guy in a car.
is it a guy? Oh yeah, it is a guy in a car.
See,
It's pretty good. Is
He
that
even
the
has a-
steering wheel?
that's like the pedal or his boot, and that's here. Here you have like the entire
Wheel.
wheel.
Wait, so his pedal is going through the wheel?
Yeah, but
Nice.
my point is, the problem for those teams is that they were gonna have to go through a field of teams. Most likely, they have no idea if someone is in this area here, but most likely yes.
Yeah. So here's the thing: when this happens, usually teams don't necessarily stay on the edge of the circle on a Angel. But on Miramar, this might not be the case because there's not so much land for all these teams to share. So those teams that you see on the lower east side might have to become an actual human shield to all those guys, to Crimson, to Havu, pretty much everybody that is on the northwest side. So yeah, that might be an issue.
And also that's, we talked about the teams from the northwest side, but at the same time, we have to talk a little bit about the teams that are just north on the circle. Since, the area, the playable area that you have currently is the size of this piece of the land,
And
right?
compare that to a full circle, if you will, in your imagination, and you can only understand that this effectively becomes a third circle.
Yes, exactly.
Well, second, sorry.
It,
But yeah.
it just escalates the game pretty fast.
Mhm.
So,
So this is actually, here's the thing, man. Like we often complain about it, but that this is an also kind of it's a part of the game. It's a part that I know you guys hate when I say this word, but it's a part that you kind of have to adapt over. And it's just the fact that it speeds up the pace of the game only at the start, but then it slows back down again into the second circle is not necessarily the worst thing in the world.
it's not, I mean,
there is
people will
still
die in the first
space.
circle. That's the problem. Not because of the damage,
Let's see.
but of
Let's
the
see.
blue, but because of the just, barrage fire from other teams.
Yeah.
And we hear some shots. I think we're going to switch into the game right now because it starts to get, heating up. All right,
Have
let's,
a look at Couple Magic here.
enough of Weatherman.
Oh.
Let's go into the game.
Let's do it. Cloudtail barely making it with his tail between his legs. Couple Magic doesn't necessarily resolve that one into a kill. But that shows you how dangerous rotations are at this stage in time. Where your Fire will connect to his teammates. There, Pajama, Snoopy, and Shade are going to be close to one another. But Couple Magic, he doesn't have that much magic anymore. Snoopy will be happy to loot him. And with his team, try to find a better spot in Puerto Paraíso, which is a good spot considering where the circle is. So you have to look at that as well.
All right. Well, the rotations are coming in. People will try to be fast in this situation, and the west side of this first circle is gonna be packed with action. We're gonna see ForZe coming in a little bit late because other teams will already take their placement. The very interesting placement in this circle is that the south side of it is a hillside of forest. It's like not really a big forest, but there's a lot of hills with just some nature on it, and that actually gives you a really good cover.
Mm-hmm. Look at Pajama Not actually from GRUBIE taking down all the guys from Kingwin. Both teams in green, so it's kind of hard to separate. But there you go, man. GRUBIE still playing a very solid game. A very, very solid game. Shady's got to be finishing off that kill. Got to take the loot happily from there. GRUBIE is going to try to make their way towards the hillside of Puerto Paraíso, which is a good place to hide as a squad. You have some decent cover in there, especially considering that the terrain is it's actually not the worst in the world. See, shots are being taken at GRUBIE, but GRUBIE's not going to be too bothered about this. They might retaliate with just a few shots of their own, but there you go. Things got very difficult for Kingwin, though. We must say this again. First game on Miramar, and I think they've lost more than one. I think it's just one left alive.
That's really unfortunate. Larson being the last alive.
No, look.
We
so it's
have
threes.
Vard
Okay.
plus one.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. They're decent. They should be able to do something with that situation.
All right. Well, the first circle is coming in, so teams will be caught in that damage. But at the same time, well, it's the first circle. The damage is not that big. So if you even have like 2 painkillers and some bandages, you're fine. The problem is how do you utilize that amount of resources later in the game when you're gonna, meet other teams pretty fast. If you win the duel, most likely you will get some loot. But what if the other team was exactly in the same situation as you were?
What are you going to do in that task? Sadovnik now on his bike, who's super fast. Going to try to make his way out of there, and it's going to last limitless Not going to find that frag. Shamanenok. Shamanenok. Is he going
Following the
to get
footsteps
knocked out?
of his teammate, but he's all good.
Oh, wow.
Okay, maybe not.
Lead
One more
damage.
shot in any part of his body, and he will be dead.
That's when you're most exposed, when you're in the flight path, when you're jumping, because you're kind of slowed. You know what I mean? There you go. Havu making their late rotate as well. Looks like teams have pretty much set themselves nicely in there. Crimson, actually, Crimson finally took Minas del Sur and parts of Valle del Mar, which is their initial looting plan. But now they're going to have some prezzies. But however, MBS is behind a house, so he won't be able to go out in time to take Vanity out. They're actually not being quite fast, and they're stopping their vehicles. Oh, and they're going to get wrecked. First one gets knocked out, but MBS himself with a lot of chances to die, and he
was
does.
just behind the cover
Son-
of that wall.
Sunbird putting him to sleep. Pybus comes in to help his teammate out, and he's going to be doing a great job at it. MBS is now resible. Or is he Botsman?
Well, he's worried about the other teammates of
Flicks.
that thing he was shooting at.
Pybus
And I think
tries-
he heard the boss, right?
Yeah, but he might not have heard Flicks. He's definitely playing like he hasn't. Oh, look at this angle. Look at this angle. Look at these shots coming in. Pybus gets himself almost knocked down, and now he does indeed. Botsman finishes off the dirty deed, and that's going to be a two-man squad for both of these teams. That's a bit unfortunate.
Well, it's actually gonna be 3, right? Because the Botsman or Sunbird.
Yeah, House of Nobles have
Yes.
Sunbird and Vanity, right? Did Vanity get wrecked? No, sorry, Flex. Botsman and Sunbird, yeah. Vanity did get wrecked.
Well, they're already in the circle. They're taking some damage, but they have 3 vehicles to choose from, so they
Yeah,
can
they're
go
okay.
easy into the next circle, and they still have the bridge in the white zone. But the problem is, FaZe is just right above it. I mean, above it. North of it.
Just
And-
entering now, yeah,
yeah.
from the west side. A lot of teams entering NLG coming in from the north side there. Method are going to be making their way from the same spot. Might just trade some blows with Kinguin as they do go in. But, well, we have some time to look at these rotations and see the fact that to Puerto Paris or west of Puerto Paris, we have 3 squads, I think, in there. So that might be a fight that breaks off already. We already see some shots starting in that area. So, yeah, POKAMOLODOY there, pretty close to
It's
the
so
lines.
funny. Los Leones is completely empty. Completely empty when
That's a
it
good
comes to
point.
rotations. And Havu Gaming and great people only are coming really late into the circle, which is a deliberate strategy since they know that it's going to be tough to go into the first rotation. So they are counting on the fact that other people that will cross the paths first to that rotation will maybe die, will maybe, ease up the way into that circle. But now it's gonna heat up pretty quickly, and this game maybe will even end up before we'll hit the 30 minutes mark. Because the next circle is actually
Nice.
escalating the game to the next circle.
It's not going to end, but I'm pretty sure some teams are going to get wrecked here. Yeah, let's see how it pans out. So you said teams don't go to Los Leones. You made a good point there that none of the teams go to Los Leones right now, as it was in the circle previously. What I think it's teams that, you know what, they've learned that it's not good to go into areas where you can get surprised. Because we look at the last match before, when we had the Stalber Hills.
Mhm.
Remember those ridges in Stalber? And I said the same thing. They don't want to get surprised. That's an area where you can have some nice visibility, but you can get surprised from the side flanks. And teams have learned not to go to these areas because in urban warfare you don't know what happens. Literally what happened to Crimson right there, as they tried to put some shots into enemies and they got absolutely wrecked. So these surprises leave nobody happy. So teams would much rather avoid that if they can. But can they do that? Oppian now has the angle onto Andy. Dinks him down quite good. Teammate cannot find the frag. Layton now coming in with the buggy. He's taking some shots himself, and I think that is one damaged buggy at least. One wheel missing out of that one. Peter will try to make a rotation there as E.T. falls. The only guy, poor guy, why me is what
the
he's
last
asking.
one as well.
Unfortunate. Vigler from Tinderglow trying to put some shots into them. Actually, Vigler eating up one bullet. And 8C falls. And there you go. Erky will know now who that enemy squad was. So they could read into the situation and know that they could go loot that person nice and safely.
You know what kind of change I would really love to see in the game already? To kind of change up the metagame? The fact that when you knock a guy, it should account for you as a kill if someone else kills him.
You should already give you the points. Yeah, that's true.
Because that would actually change the approach to the game. If you knock someone, you just leave him.
You leave him there, and that gives him
And
a
you
chance to
can-
get rezzed.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to take him down so that his team cannot res him. Yeah. I can see that work.
And also other teams will not scavenge, occasions when two teams are battling against each other and they get a knock, then the third team will not get points for killing knocked people.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Because that's actually a valid strategy when you see two teams fighting, right? Not a single person from those teams that are fighting against each other will finish off the other guys that are knocked out already because they need to focus on not losing the fight. While the team that is just chilling, they can just kill the knocked people.
Yes, indeed. Oh, fish is in the barrel.
Oi, oi,
Oh, yeah.
whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole, indeed. Vard not with a lot of life left anyway. He needs to go for breath. He needs to go for air, but Yerps, he's got to be there. Puts him to rest. And that is a dog that couldn't swim. Zulu now with Miraku, close to one another. Still, though, you have to give it to the boys from Zulu squad because they have land. And that's what makes them a bit more powerful in this kind of an engagement here. Finstack would have an upper hand in this situation. Not necessarily, though, for too much because both of these teams should make it safety into the water for the next one. But yeah, still. Oh, Jensen actually took Erica down. Oh, yeah, so there you go. And OG doing pretty good. Coyote, in the meantime, finds himself some frags. Sunbird might go down here. That is not an easy task, navigating that terrain. Coyote has to reload the weapon. That is what Sunbird would hope for, but he's in the open.
How did he manage to just stay in the open? Like, he knew exactly
Now he's in
the
cover.
angle, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Sunbird just got finished by that.
By the finish, Coyote.
Havu still hanging by the thread in the blue zone, taking some damage, but they're coming late into the circles. In the meantime, Fade's getting shot at.
What
Not
are they doing? What is Tindergirl doing? Do they not know? They've got no idea. Do they not know that there's a team so close to them?
I'm guessing they're gonna hear some movement at some point.
Yeah, they know. They've traded some blows now. Let's see how this one works out. Milan, the only building around that area there, where these teams are currently trying to fight this one off. It doesn't look like there's a lot of chances for Horcan to stay alive for too long here. I definitely doubt it. Viglor coming in to help his teammate Milla. Horcan tries to go for a side peek there. Milla spotting, trying to scout around. Does spot his enemy. Taking some shots there, and one of them connects beautifully. So I think it was a headshot there. Horcan now will have a life left.
Through a plank.
Yep,
Nice
indeed. That is not too bad at all. And now look at the side flank coming in from Viglor. He will be finding the knock and the kill. There's no chance for Horcan's team to actually get him up. But there
This
you
is
go.
gonna be a
Four's lost
bloodbath
one.
right now.
Yes and no. Oh yeah, Havu FaZe have to make their way from the east
And
side.
there's
That
also
might be bad.
Ensolenso in between, right? I know that's Havu as well.
That is, yeah,
Never
Insolence
mind.
was Havu. Yorski actually made a very good point that Miramar's going to work on the third try. Nice one, Yorski. Shout out to you, my friend. I memed on him, but he was correct. So there is that. Limitless already made their way with boats and vehicles towards the south side. What the crap? They seem to be going in and out of land Limitless there. Do they have those freaking... What are those called? The ones that go on water and on land. Boats.
Amphibian?
Amphibian, you know what I mean?
Boats, right? Yeah, amphibian vehicles in general.
Yeah.
Right? Because they are both land and water
Or maybe,
compatible.
maybe they just have a big belly from too much cargo. Because they're all Finnish. And they can like float underwater like bloop, like the pufferfish.
What do you have with the pufferfish, man?
I don't know, man. It just keeps coming up. Right. Let's go back into it. Alliance trading blows with GRUBIE. With GRUBIE, rather.
Fancy shirt.
Nobody getting down. Yes. You like it? You want it? I'll give you.
It's kind of too edgy for me.
Okay. Wow. That is a statement and a half. Because you, my friend, are what they would call in Spain a modernito, a man of fashion. Wow. That's too edgy for you, then. I definitely wouldn't wear that. Are you Googling modernito?
No. But
Okay.
that's
Alright.
GRUBIE. I always forget the fourth member of GRUBIE. And they're having a fantastic positioning.
They
I don't
forget
know
him as well.
how is it happening, but GRUBIE seems to be honestly very impressive in all the games.
All the time.
They have
Consistently
always
good.
fantastic positioning, great mob awareness. I cannot like kind of pin it down on why, right? Because usually you can read out the teams how they do it. Like
Yeah.
they do a split, they read the rotation from other teams by having a scout or by having by taking two different right sides of the road.
You know what I think it is? I
And
think
so
it's just
on, right?
Russian courage, man. They're very proactive. When we
Russian
saw
courage, is it liquid?
them, I think it might be, but not for a team like that. It might be. I might. A shot of Russian courage might put you on your feet. Girls, put some hair on your chest. They are very proactive. Whenever they have to enter a circle, they make sure that all the teams around them are dead, which is the new. Yeah, man.
Good strategy.
Yeah, which is a new kind of center strat. They always check their backs, always takes the shots. Oh, they never miss a fight. So by doing that, they either scare off their enemies or they take them down because they're very good at fighting. So
Well,
there you go. That's what they do.
Look at that. They are actually very in the open, but they
They
have a
don't
slight
need to take
hill.
this fight, but they do it.
I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. Like, they can be shot from so many different angles right now. Even when they're on this hill, it's not like the hill is okay, but it doesn't have particular hard cover, right? It has partial cover
I think it's
unless
just good
you
comms
maybe.
combined with proactive circle clearing, which is the new center strat. I know.
Havu Gaming, as usual, in this game, still in the blue, kind of riding the edge.
The edge lords who don't have any chance at the circle. This is going to be so far away from them, unfortunately. And now that they're on foot, they're going to have things made much harder. 54th coming in with the long range shots. Doesn't necessarily connect those 200 meters. A bit too far away as Havu find themselves in cover. Havu might actually use the beach line if they could only. I don't really mind. Gets spotted, gets tagged down heavy.
Bullet and he is dead.
And he prones in. Just a safety. Holy smokes.
You saw his
54th.
boots in the last moment, but they didn't connect to his heels.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do.
For proning, man.
But Jorski's boots are gonna make a fool straight out of you, 54th, because you can't get the freaking knock. What
one
the?
more bullet and it's all missing, and his clip is
we
out
have-
of bullets.
Oh,
A quick draw would have come in handy.
yeah. There you go. Coyote in the meantime there, making some noise, taking the boys from Havu down. What 54th couldn't do, the other Finnish squad will. So Havu is eliminated at this moment in time. GRUBIE now taking a fight with Exalging and getting 2 knocks on that as well. Tinder Goals are now going to reply, so they're going to know if Tinder Goals position. GRUBIE, freaking beasts, man. I wanted to sing Potato with the previous one, but I don't know. Do we have any eco production? Can we put like echo on the caster voice?
Echo.
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 Just to be like, potatoes. You know what I mean?
You can go unison, you know.
Make it nice and cringy for the viewers here.
Oh,
Pajama, you know that breaches
XM.
in. First one goes down. Second one as
GRUBIE
well.
super aggressive, goes straight
What'd I
into
tell
the
you?
building.
What did I tell you?
I mean, that was
Russian
actually
courage.
a viable strategy because they split for both ways, right? It's a building that, and this comes in handy when you practice, right? Especially in Miramar, you have unified buildings in general. You know that this building has entrance from 2 sides, and if your opponent is taking a one-sided fight with your teammates, then you can just go circle back and backstab them easily, and that's just what happened. So that was actually fantastically well played by GRUBIE.
Yeah. And they have a little spot to themselves, and they might have some action as well. FaZe staying strong by sticking together. We see Tinder Gold just to their north, but Tinder Golds have lost 2 members, so they wouldn't necessarily get into a fight if they could avoid it. But I don't know what that FaZe is just south that I'm here. Oof, this might be a battle. Mila takes a shot. Mila does indeed. Fuzzface goes on prone, turns around real quick. Vigler gets knocked out by Fuzzface. Holy moly. Mila now with a sliver of life, and FaZe are already on the freaking side. Yuki taking the shots far away at GRUBIE. But until they get to GRUBIE, they've done.
GRUBIE, they just left the compound and are now on foot again, and they're fighting. What is happening? They left the compound that was in the circle,
But I
right?
tell you, they're very proactive. I think what these guys, this is what I think it is. This is the only translation that I have. They don't have any patience. All they want to know is that their side of the circle is just for them. I think that's how they do it, man. Because they always end up in top 10s with a lot of kills. And I think that's how they do it. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think that's what they do. They hear the shots and they go straight into it as one unit. And this is a thing that's kind of missing right now in PUBG. Like, some teams are going to be like, or some IGLs are going to be like, we go 3:30, now go. And then teams take their time, blah, blah, blah. You know, you have to be fast on these rotations. I think that's what's working for him. But, look at Yuki now approaching the rest of FaZe indeed. Yuki in the smoke right now, eating up a heck of a ton of damage. Spots his enemy. Doesn't go in for the kill straight up, but Shade puts him down. Throwing Shade indeed. Play zone takes Fuzzface now. There's not a lot of guys left from FaZe. I think it's just Hack City. And Luki knocked out. Oh boy. ForZe might have the top on this one. Hack City has been hurt. They definitely know where he
He's
is.
aiming it with. It's an M4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an M4 with a silencer. A deadly weapon. But still a tough situation for him. He is being surrounded by 2 teams. And Larson
Not
still
bad.
hanging.
Hey, not
Still
bad.
hanging on. And I think he just kind of moved like 250 meters from his first position, and he doesn't really need to move again. But the problem is, now teams will kind of surround him as well. So both Axeri and Larson are in a pickle.
Well, Larson should know this. He definitely knows that there's teams coming in from his northwest. So all he can do is literally prone at this moment of time. Oh, look at these boys. Spicy lads having at it again. These Back City trying to find the frag. No, it's got to be Shamanenok to take him down. So Sadovnik as well going for the kills, but they only have 10 seconds left and a long way to go. Not long in territory, but long considering that there's a team watching you. Coyote will be probably holding on to his back angle there. They know that there was a fight earlier on there. They definitely heard them. So they're expecting this one. Great people only. Let's see if they capitalize on this situation and take their enemies down from ForZe. Will they? Can they? I think they will.
You will get to know in the next episode of GLL next Friday.
Sounds like you need, like, give me a bit of water.
Give me water. No water in this game. No more water.
Good point. Coyote putting in the nades. Now they connect with Shamanenok. In the meantime, Sadovnik is trying to make a side flank there, but it's a bit too early there. Coyote will be safe. Preemptive nades. Little pocket red zones. Finally, Coyote spots his enemy there, but that truck is very hard to peek past. Fortunately enough, his enemy will move position, but Coyote's nades attracted the attention of another team there, who will be taking shots at him. So Coyote cannot peek on Shamanenok, which will make him move right now against close to him. He peeks out widely in the opening, gets punished for Shamanenok, comes in with the knockout here.
And he
No
only
chance
hit his
for a
opponent
res.
once. Look at that. Shamanenok, maybe even not once since he had been damaged before. So, good exchange from Shamanenok, good duel from him.
He just noped out of there real quick.
Yep.
He was like, oh, so let me see who were those guys who were saving me.
It's a huge barrage of fire
Nope.
from the compound nearby, and it's like, I think I'm gonna leave.
I'll check him later on.
So, Kingwin still hanging, Royal Banditos still hanging, one member each.
Flames got wrecked.
Larson still in his position. Let's take a look at him. Oh, well, hello there. What you doing?
Little boy,
Dude, you can see him. Like,
little
can we check
bush
other
wookie.
angles?
And
Like-
he hasn't played this. He hasn't played this position. But the thing is that he cannot see enemies either. So I guess that's okay, you know.
But he has a crossbow. What?
Freaking look at the Larson the elf. Tell me, Larson, what do your elvish eyes see?
And you have my ex. But the problem is, Larson, I think he has no meds. And now he's on the far side of the circle.
On the
If he
flippy
gets
side.
just one kill
Thing
with the
is-
crossbow, he will be a legend. But
Look at GRUBIE. Look at them go. One man unit basically because they're so close to one another, and they all let him rip Shamanenok, take it out of the match. One more just south of him there. Sadovnik knows what's coming to him, and he tries to make a run for it. He might just, if there's nobody else firing at him, Helu won't make any kind of move, but Snoopy might spot him, and he does indeed. As he tries to get up, Snoopy takes him down.
dude, they already
But now they're
have
taking damage.
12 kills. More. 30. Wait, what? How is it changing? 10, 13.
Mhm.
Yeah, 15 kills.
There you go.
No, wait, more. 5, 12, 18 kills.
So there you go. No, wait,
Holy-
more. They're
Yeah.
going to find some more frags here.
But
Goes down the
POKAMOLODOY is
oh.
now knocked down. And I
That's
think this is the
Sadovnik,
first
the
time he's
solo.
getting knocked. No, second time he's actually bleeding fast.
So Sadovnik is actually the solo. Is there a chance to get the res? That's the question here. POKAMOLODOY is going to try and make a way to Snoopy. Actually, Snoopy's going to try to make a way to him. Ooh, this is dangerous AF, my friend. They're going for it as well. They've
But
got
he used the
backup of
smokes.
their
And
teammate.
he is getting backed by his other smokes from his teammates. So fantastically played. But
Nope.
it's not enough. The smokes are not tall enough to block the line of sight. And Pyjama got knocked as well in this situation. So now there are two members still alive. Will they go for the res? I don't think so. The circle will be closing, but it's kind of slow on the slower side. Outside, in the meantime, losing his helmet. He is peeking out of the shack and just shooting through that smoke, hitting some, I think, some shots on those guys from GRUBIE. But it was super close to actually getting them as well.
Yes, it was. And the res will happen for the third guy in GRUBIE's team. Snoopy with an advanced position might spot Outsider as soon as the smoke dissipates. No, he's actually in a divot. So he's not going to be seeing him just a second here. We'll see how it pans out later on, as Outsider will still be holding on to that angle.
Well, we didn't
Snoopy
see
is
what
gonna peek
happened to
now.
Larson,
Snoopy's
by the
gonna peek
way.
now. There you go.
Ah,
Wait for Snoopy to peek. Pajama is going to be the one that finds. Of course, it's Pajama that finds the frag onto him. Circle strangling again right now. 8 teams, 19 alive. And there's not a lot of cover on the west side. There's just this compound here that teams are trying to take. VZ with a manga S moment. Gets himself up. Oh, but Brooksy avoids it beautifully there at the very last second. So
a
VZ
little
gives
bit
up on
of
that fight.
potato, and he needs to now fall back from his position, but
Nope.
he had a really bad angle at his opponent, so he's paying the highest price of all his life, and he's dead. But at least he has a nice site to behold. He's on the beach, chilling for the rest of his eternal service.
Indeed. And now that the circle shrinks in, it will definitely not have any water in it. Unless the boys from GRUBIE are thirsty and they brought their own. But yeah, Limitless looking really good with 4 members left alive. They can actually play a flying side flank here. 2+2 might be panning out just nice. GRUBIE has 3 guys left alive though, so you have to consider that. Walter with a holographic AK. Not necessarily the best one to use in this situation here. Zulu might go down as well. There she goes.
Nice shots.
There she blows. And Zulu falls. There you go. Walter stealing that frag.
It was important to get that 8 points right now. The game is coming to an end, and he most likely will not have a chance to survive this next circle since he is getting blown out by people who are already in the white, and that means he has no chance of going into that position without being killed.
Oh, this is Monka S for Limitless, though. They have to make their way to an open position, and GRUBIE are just on the other side waiting for him.
Snoopy next to his trash, having his cover.
They could be...
Throw out the trash, man.
Bro.
Bruh.
From far away, it looks like a blue buggy.
Yeah, it kind of does, right?
Yeah.
The first time I was playing a
you
Miramar, I was like,
drop?
oh my god, where did I
So
drop?
many buggies.
Yeah, I just dropped on a trash can, and I was like, yeah, well, this doesn't have really vehicle, like any tires, and it doesn't have an engine. So.
Smells like my old car, though.
Oh,
So there you go. Yeah.
Pyjama with next kill. What the hell is happening, man?
heck?
Shade has 9 kills already.
And that's from one of the teams. So Limitless have 2 guys in the safety and 2 guys which are not. So one of the guys in the safety actually got killed. So it's just going to be Brooksy himself that has to defend from a lot of teams coming in here. But those teams might actually take one another down. Pajama, taking shots at Walter and Papa. But the circle's strangling in. And they don't seem to have any smokes to try and put a stop to GRUBIE's insane momentum right now. GRUBIE having a very powerful spot where they are. So Limitless, can they do anything about it? In the meantime, though, it looks like Crimson is going to be taken out of the game as well. Brooksy doing a good job so far. Pajama takes Papa down. One more guy staying alive there on that side. Walter gets knocked out himself. So that means that there's only one guy left from Limitless, and GRUBIE most likely to win the chicken dinner here as G-Tang, Fever, and Brooksy, all from different teams, will have to come in through the same angle to try and stop GRUBIE. But as they do, they're going to meet each other as well. Let's see where the next circle is going to take us, because that one's going to be really important to see how GRUBIE rotate together.
Well, they have every single advantage you can kind of hope for in the last circle. So unless your opponents will all work like one team and just jump on you at the same time, I don't see how GRUBIE will just lose this situation. But let's not say it too fast, because they got shot a little bit.
G-Tank's going to be eliminated, though. That's one more out of the way. 2 to go.
And the circle is a little bit to the north, with the high ground still on the road.
Yes, indeed. Shade now. Going forward. Fever and Brooksy close to one another. Fever playing the dumpster.
Yeah.
I mean, you find your place in life. No, not to take away anything. Fever is a very good player, of course. Of course. Really,
But
really good.
look at that nade. I will just please throw a nade into that.
Oh, Shade, please do it. Shade cannot actually spot
Into
him
that
from that
dumpster.
angle. Actually, Shade does not have an angle on him.
Oh, wait, did he actually throw it? No,
Nope.
that was a smoke.
It's a smoke arena. That actually works for Fever. Smells like burning garbage? Well, then probably is.
It's kind of empty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fever's there. Snoopy now holding on to the split. It's a 1+1+1 split from GRUBIE.
Look at that. Snoopy has 6 more boosters while he's fully boosted.
Yo, dog, I heard you like some boosters. So
And he has level 3 helmet. I think everyone from GRUBIE still has a level 3 helmet, and that is a huge advantage.
that is sick for this end game here. Snoopy, though, with a low armor, he could be brought down if one of these 2 guys peeks him. But Pajama is going to be there for their refrag. So either way it goes, Brooksy and Fever are going to have to make their way out. I think Fever has an edge of the circle where he is right now. I think he does. Oh, that would be so. Oh my God, that would be so. Let's go to Fever. Let's go to his nose and literally see where the circle stops because I think it's going to be quite close to him. Ooh, dum dum.
Well, he can still back out like half a meter.
Dum 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 dum.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm chilling. I'm good. I'm good."
I'm okay, guys. Don't
Wait,
worry about
where's
me.
the next circle ending?
Oh,
I think he saw him.
surprise, surprise! Here comes Snoopy with a gift. And that's the gift of 556 and a match closing soon as Brooksy stays in his home. Final circle. GRUBIE want the win. They're going to go not aggressive, but they're going to check their angles, man.
And this is a problem. If
Look
their
at poor
opponent
Brooks.
is in
This
the
is
building,
a beautiful angle. Look at Brooksy on the right side of the screen. You're like, guys, please don't. Guys. What can we do here? Can we make it arrangement? Limitless go down.
Oh man!
Limitless have found their limit.
Oh, you remember how I was talking about 20 kills being almost impossible to get in a high competitive setting?
There they
Well,
are.
here we go with GRUBIE with 27. 27 kills when the lobby has actually 72 people.
Wow. That is sickening. That is
I think
sickening,
that's
and
the
that is GRUBIE for you.
Highest possible win that we ever seen. I think in one game. Had someone more in GLL?
I think so.
More than 27.
In the qualifiers, yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about broadcast here.
No, in season 1, no.
In
We didn't.
preseason as well. I don't think so.
Preseason, I think there was a game from Kingwin, I think.
More than 27? I
Wait,
honestly-
20, more than 27? No. I think it was kind of there.
Man, that was impressive as hell.
You know what would have been funny if they would have got the last kill in the dumpster? Then we could have said, they found their chicken dinner in the trash. I'm sorry. You know me. You know Papa. Papa loves to meme. And Papa loves you too. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around with GLL. It's been a fantastic journey so far for the lads there playing for your entertainment. And we've got plenty more to go, right? Two
We
more
have
matches.
2 more mirror matches still to be
Played.
seen.
Yeah. Or seen.
Hopefully. The
Or-
lobby will not crash this time. Fingers crossed.
Do we have any highlights? I think we do. Let's have a look at
I-
some.
Production, do we have any highlights?
The highlights are you, the viewers. You're the highlights of my day, and we love you for it. Let's go to a break. See you guys in a few minutes. Lol.